Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. This meeting, public hearing, will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access this meeting may do so in the following manner. Zoom meeting. See connection information on the agenda to join the meeting by Zoom video conference or to call in by phone. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with the right or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Topsfield website at topsfield-mass.gov/. You may also reach the Conservation Commission at Mass topsfield-mass.gov or by calling in at 978-887-1510 for information and assistance. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, and I lost my place. And public participation in any public hearing conducted during this meeting shall be by remote means only. Members of the public attending this meeting virtually will be allowed to make comments if they wish to do so during that portion of the hearing designated for public comment as announced by the chair during the hearing. The meeting was being recorded by Topsfield Cable TV and Zoom. Is there anyone else present who wishes to record this meeting? While we are conducting town business using remote participation via Zoom, we ask those of you not recognized by the chair or otherwise engaged in the discussion of the moment to please mute your microphones to avoid interruptions outside the conversation. Thank you. We're going to open the meeting by request for 35 Summer Street, map 41. No, excuse me. We're going to open it by request for RDNI 2026-05 for 42 Fox Run Road, map 39, lot 104, for Scott for a request to remove 9 trees and trim 7 trees. Is there anyone here representing him, or are you doing it, Jackie?
I'm not sure if anyone's here for this one, but I'll start.
Okay.
So let me pull up the plan. 42 Fox Run Road. So this was a request to remove 9 trees and trim 7 trees. One of the trees being trimmed is not actually in the resource areas. 6 or 7 of them are in both buffer zone and riverfront, only under the bylaw riverfront. 2 are in buffer zone, but not riverfront. And 1 is only in riverfront, but under the bylaw. I did visit the site and I took some photos of the trees, which I'll show you all after the plan. Just pulling up the plan now. Here it is. So the applicants submitted a letter from the tree company saying that some of the trees look healthy, but are leaning over the house. Some of them have rot and some of them have multiple leaders, and they've had previous trees fall, so they're worried about trees falling on the house. A few of them in particular were leaning over the bedroom. So I certainly understood the concern about these few over here leaning over the bedroom. You can see on this plan there's color coding for green for the ones that are being trimmed and red for the ones that they're proposing to cut. And there's a wetland back here that's not shown on this particular sketch, but it's kind of like a ditch back here. And then there's this wetland over here that's adjacent to a stream that has riverfront area only under the bylaw. So I'll show some photos of that. see. My face is covering up the photos here. So this is the one that was out front. I think this one is more leaning towards the road. They're all white pines. The next one here, these were the two that were proposed just to be trimmed. I think these are outside of jurisdiction though. Here's one in the back. I think this is kind of going from left to right along the backyard. Here's another one. This one was being proposed to be cut. The previous was proposed to be trimmed. These two with the markers on them were proposed to be cut. And then
Big
these
tree.
two for trimming. These two were the ones leaning over the bedroom that were proposed to be cut. These are the three in the back right. Kind of further back, you can kind of see the wetland back, like where the topography kind of dips down back there.
Mhm.
And then here's a closer view of one of those. Another one. And then one more tree to be cut. Here's the view looking toward the house where some of those trees are in the foreground. There's two trees that they wanted to trim. And there's the plan again. So it is a large number of trees. I think they had started with a much larger number, and I had suggested considering trimming some of them rather than cutting all the trees if they didn't think it would be necessary. It's kind of up to the commission to interpret whether it's a negligible impact or can be conditioned that way under the RDNI. Since we don't really have a limit on how many trees can be cut under an RDNI.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I have a couple questions, Dodds, if that's okay for me to ask.
Sure, go ahead.
So first, just a statement that it sounds like these are all white pines that need to come down. Yeah.
they're all white pine, yes.
I mean, a lot of those are getting to the end of their lifespan, so it's not unrealistic, I think, for some of these to come down. For trimming, do you, Jackie, know off the top of your head what our guidelines are for trimming? Is that like no more than 20% of the canopy? Like what is trimming versus basically gutting a tree?
So I think trimming, I don't know if we have anything in our bylaw, but I think
Okay.
like pruning up to 20% of the canopy is, I think, what it is under the Wetlands Protection Act.
Okay.
And then hazardous trees.
Sure.
Under the Wetlands Protection Act.
Yep.
Is another thing that can be exempt. Some
Yep.
of this is not pertaining to the Wetlands Protection Act, the ones that are only in our bylaw riverfront area.
Yep.
But most of them are.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we may need to update some of those so that we can have a defined percentage on some of the bylaw stuff. But I'm okay personally going with 20%. It sounds like it's up to our discretion, and 20% sounds reasonable to me. Generally, though, the trimming of the trees I'm not overly worried about. In terms of tree removal, am I understanding correctly that there's 9 trees to be removed?
Yes.
Okay, and then I see in some of the notes that some of the trees are diseased. So, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah, a few of them, I think they didn't say exactly how many, but they said some of them were healthy, some of them had rot. I think the healthy ones they were concerned about were multi-weeder trees, which have higher risk of falling or dropping limbs.
Okay, so can we say that of the 9 trees, there is either disease or danger to person or property. For all of-
That's certainly
all-
what the letter was arguing. I can show the letter if that helps.
Okay. I mean, I'm comfortable. No, I mean, if that's the way that you read it, and I'm comfortable taking that at basically face value. I would like to see 9 replacement native trees planted, though, for those 9 trees being removed.
I'll show you what the letter said.
Yeah, I mean, they're making it sound like they all need to be removed for one reason or another. So
Right.
I'm okay with the idea of taking them down. I think the last, and obviously, if anyone else has any comments on anything I just said, please. But the last thing is, does this meet the requirements of a RDNI, or is this a larger project? Personally, if the trees get replanted, I think it is going to be a fairly negligible impact. I mean, these are end-of-life pines, and putting in a different native tree is going to balance it out over time. I don't think we're gaining anything by bumping this up to the next level.
I'm sorry, I just was having technical difficulties. This is Jen, but just curious, what is the proposed replacement material? Is it, blueberry bushes or is it actual trees?
So I told the applicant that we prefer it to be actual trees. They didn't propose any specific replacement tree.
So my thought process is it would be negligible, like Andrew said, if it was trees, because it's canopy that we're losing. So if they want to try to fit it within this RDNI, it seems to me that trees would be the thing to replace them with.
Yep, I concur with that.
Yep, I do too. I think
We
trees.
could work that into the conditions.
I think trees for trees is a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to check again. Is anyone here representing the property owners wanting to say anything? If not, that's okay. But
Okay, so should we have a motion?
I can make a motion.
Okay,
I put forward a motion to issue a determination of negligible impact for 42 Fox Run Road, map 39, lot 104, with the standard conditions, including the requirement for 9 native trees, and they must be trees, to be planted within buffer zone or riverfront area.
I will second that motion. This is Jen DiCarlo for the record.
and how do we vote? Dodd Shamroth, aye.
Jen DiCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Good. That's it for that one. All right, we're gonna move on to an RDNI for 2026-06 for 8 Surrey Lane, map 31, lot 44, Malkin, a request to demo an existing deck and to build a new deck within the footprint. Is there anyone here who represents Mr. Malkin?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hi, welcome.
Hi.
Can you tell us a little bit about your project?
So right now there's a 3-level deck, smaller, upper level, medium size, kind of mid-level, and then a very big ground level deck. And it's gonna all when we want to take it all out, put in a permeable patio of pavers that will be 60 by 14. So basically the same size as the ground level deck right now.
Yep.
I think the pavers may extend a bit further to the right than the actual ground level deck does right now, but same distance out from the house. And then the deck will be 32 by 14, same distance out from the house, just about half the it's half the size of the patio, I'd say.
Okay.
And
Show the
yeah,
plan.
excuse me.
Oh, I'm just saying I can show the plan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you?
If anyone else has something to say, Mike, if you want to continue.
Quick question. I think I see somewhere in the notes something about bushes being removed for this project.
Yes, and there's going to be new shrubs, bushes planted. Basically, whatever you specify we need to put there, we'll put there.
Yeah, I mean, I personally would love to see a one-to-one replacement with native bushes.
Yep.
And there are lots to pick from, so you can get nice flashy flowering things that are still native. So it's not that limiting.
Yeah, so you can see in this drawing where the ground level deck and then that's being a patio, and then the footprint of the deck is being, of the upper deck is being reduced from the current deck. They're proposing a pop-up drain here. Wetland is back here. The bushes are right here. I'll show you a photo of that in a second. Here's some details about the project. So this is the ground level deck. It does look like the boards are really close together with not allowing a lot of space in between for water to percolate through.
If I could jump in on that, I would say that deck right now is not permeable in any way. Water sheds right off the end of it if you pour it on it. Their boards are tight and they're filled with dirt. So permeable patio would be a huge improvement over that, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think if properly maintained and installed, I think I would want to see like the specs of the permeable pavers when they before they put them in.
Yeah, I could get those for you.
And then here you can see the wetland is kind of back at the fence line. This is looking towards the deck. You can see the shrubs in front that are proposed to be removed and replaced. There's the upper deck and the ground level deck below it.
And just the footprint is going to be the same, or you said potentially slightly larger.
The deck itself, the deck that I'm building is going to be smaller than the footprint of the ground level right now. The patio will be larger than what the ground level deck is.
Okay.
But I'm not the patio. It's a separate. The pavers are a separate contract from what I'm actually doing. So I know about like what's going on with it to this point, but I'm not going to be the one actually doing that. So.
Yeah, so I guess for some background on this, there was a building permit application for a deck. The plan showed the deck being proposed as smaller than the existing. So I said, easy, that's an RD&I, it's just replacing with an existing. But then when I got there and talked to Mike about it, it does seem like it's more going on than just the upper deck, because there's the patio and the bushes. So I wasn't sure at that point if it should be an RD&I or not, but
do you have any idea how far out those pavers are going to extend past
no more than the deck, 14, no more than 14 feet, because the pop-up drain is going out 19 feet. So
okay, so the final footprint of everything being changed should roughly be the footprint of the existing deck.
Yes, it's not extending any further towards the wetland, towards the resource area than it is right now. It's just only going, the patio will be going, more wide with the house is all. Not more towards the wetland though.
Okay.
But what about on the side? So like I'm looking at the image that you showed earlier, and it does look like it extends further out to the side lot line. I don't have like a direction on this, but the green border of the proposed patio is closer to the, what was depicted on there as wetlands, right?
So it looks like an
It was
additional,
43 by 14 and now it's 60 by 14. Like 17 feet.
so 17 by 14, talking about 240 square feet of additional
Of patio, yeah.
of additional patio.
Yeah.
Which would
so
be
that-
which would be a permeable patio. So
Yeah, but that would
that's
be
over existing lawn, right?
they say over existing lawn.
The portion that's expanding.
I have to look at a photo real quick to confirm that. I apologize.
Yeah. Or is it bushes? back there? It looks like there
No,
might be a
there's
wall.
there's a retaining wall and no, the deck. It goes pretty close to the end of the house. Looking at the picture of it, actually.
Do you
I
have a
think
bird's eye?
I used a
Jackie?
combination of measurements from the GIS and stuff, and I think a couple of those might have been on the existing a bit off, if I'm being honest.
Oh, here's the.
yeah.
So it looks like the
Yeah.
deck kind of goes all the way to the wall. So I don't know if it could really be, if the patio could really go beyond.
Yeah, I mean that's where it's going to go to.
The
Okay.
wall's not going to get ripped out, right?
That wall's not getting. I don't believe so. No, I have not heard any plans of that at all. But that again, that's like I'm the deck builder, not the patio guy.
Yep.
I was
Yeah,
under the
cool.
understanding. I was under the understanding that like patio pavers didn't require any kind of permit. So I didn't know that it even triggered any conservation permitting as well. Until I met
I'm
with
not sure it
Jackie.
really matters. It doesn't seem like it really matters because that area is highly improved. You know, it's
Yeah.
got the wall there.
Yeah.
It goes, you know, I'd say as long as it doesn't extend. I mean, it's depicted on this proposal as going basically to the corner of the house, you know? So.
Yeah, that might have been my quick drawing this morning. I'm going to apologize for that.
I mean,
No, I don't know that you need to apologize. I guess the question is that where the patio is intended to go? You know, is it going to the corner of the house or not further than the corner of the house? Then fine.
It's
know.
not going past that wall. I know that.
Okay.
Well, it seems to
Yeah.
me like
Just
as long
for,
as
it's really just for. Sorry, go ahead.
no, sorry, Jen, please continue.
I was just saying it's just for record keeping purposes, really. That's the only reason I'm asking the question. That's it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think based on the photos of what I saw, as long as the patio doesn't extend more than 14 feet away from the house, there's not going to be a net change in patio / improved space.
Yep.
And so for that portion of it, I would consider this negligible impact. Could we talk a little bit more about the pop-up drain?
Yeah. Yes.
Just what's the plan there? That's to
So
take
this
runoff
this
away,
right up
or-
here was sent to me by the person doing the work. So my knowledge on the pop-up drain itself is rather limited. So there's going to be there's French drains in the ground right now. He says here where he's digging down. The downspouts for the gutters are going to tie into that as well, and then lead into that drain. So if that gets overflowed, from my understanding, that pop-up drain has it's like spring loaded, that fills up, and the water will start coming out there until it's not raining so much that it can only drain in that area again.
But does the pop-up emitter, is it, this much pipe, or does it need to be attached to feet or yards of pipe to disperse the water that it picks up?
I do not know. I would be lying if I tried to give you an answer on that one. I don't know. I could ask the guy doing the work on that one, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is that, this obviously doesn't exist yet. And so to install this drain, you would be, not you, but someone would be removing quite a bit of earth to get the drain low enough. That's going to require erosion controls because you're 30 feet away from the wetland right now. So, I mean, that's a fairly sizable thing to do 30 feet from a wetland. And then, you know, is that runoff going to go just onto the lawn? Is there going to be like a rain garden planted there? You know, and I'm not saying that you need to necessarily have the answers to these things. It's just, you know, it's not, because we're very close to the resource area right now. I don't think it's just as simple as this is going to go in here. I mean, we would have to condition all of the erosion controls and stuff involved in that.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah.
I think that we need to understand the design for the drainage. You know, what's going to be attached to the pop-up emitter, and you know, kind of how much digging if they're going to put in. You know,
Well,
10 feet of perforated pipe attached to the pop-up emitter in order to disperse the water. We need to understand what the design is.
Okay.
So the question is, can they come back with this as an RDNI, or is this enough work for us to really want to trigger an NOI? And I don't have a good answer for that.
I think if the answer is that it needs more than an RDNI, there would also be the option of, can we approve a portion of the work under an RDNI? Is that preferable to the applicant to be able to get started on portion of the project, or would the applicant rather just apply the RDNI fee to their future application of RDA or NOI and put it all together?
I mean, starting it without him, without that portion is not really an option for me. So I would prefer just to go whatever path I need to go to get it approved, where I can start and do it as one whole job in succession. I would prefer to do it that way. And I understand, you know, if it gets delayed, I understand that, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this can come in front of us next month, and
okay,
you know, things can be good to go.
So you need a more detailed design of the drainage.
Yeah.
I kind of had a feeling that was going to be the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My understanding of the patio right now is that's of negligible impact. The bushes, I understand they need to come out as long as native bushes at the same number go back in. I think that's of negligible impact. The drain might be of negligible impact, but I don't think we can answer that question right now with the amount of info we have.
Okay, and that's more regarding like the install process of that drain specifically, not the patio. So the trenching out 5 feet from the yard, from the patio area.
Yeah, about the length of pipe in it.
Length of pipe, all right.
Yeah, and definitely reach out to Jackie on what we would expect from that type of, you know, things we need for that portion of it, and she'll be a good resource there.
Perfect.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and very nice talking to you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Do we need to continue this with a motion?
I think if the commission thinks this should be a notice of intent, or then I think we need to vote to deny the request or to not issue a determination of negligible impact.
I don't know.
Well, it lacks sufficient detail, right? I mean, and you've got to have the people that are involved with this particular aspect of the design be present, you know? So, I mean, we don't need to deny it necessarily, at least in my opinion. Maybe they continue it. I get it that they want to know. I mean, they could provide you with further information, Jackie, and then maybe you could say, oh, this doesn't really sound like an RDNI based on what you're, you know, telling us.
Oh, okay, so there's still an opportunity for it to potentially be an RDNI.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think we know right now.
Yeah, if it's negligible, right?
Could they still transfer the fee into an NOI or whatever the next one is if we just continue, or does that need to be denied to be transferred?
I think if I advise them to apply for, say, an NOI, then they could like rescind their RDNI application, and I could apply the fee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not saying that is or isn't going to be necessary. I just want to make sure that they have as many options available as possible. Okay, so
So-
continuance.
Continue it?
Okay.
Aw,
All right, I'll make a motion that we continue. Actually, before I'm going to stop my motion. What is the date of our next meeting?
good idea.
July 8th.
July 8th. Thank you. Okay, restarting my motion, I will make a motion that we continue RDNI 2026-06 for 8 Surrey Lane, map 31, lot 44, to our July 8th, 2026 meeting.
I will second that. Mr.
And
Jen.
how do we vote? Dodge Shamrock, aye?
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Great. Well, we'll see you on the July 8th meeting.
Thank you. Appreciate all your time.
Thank you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, next we have a request for compliance in OOC 3070871 for 10 Prospect Street, map lot 40. No, map 40, lot 90. Sorry about that. Wetlands and land management. And who's here to speak to us about that?
Hi, it's Bill Manuel from Wetlands and Land Management. A couple of light duty things this evening. The first one is request for certificate of compliance. This was a septic system installation at 10 Prospect Street. That work has been done. Let me just pop up the approved plan so you can maybe
Thank you.
get a reminder of this. So this was 10 Prospect Street. Remember, the wetland line basically went right along the back of the back patio and right next to the driveway. But the septic system went in the front yard. The lot line was odd shaped. We had to remove 2 trees, one here and one here, in order to do all this. And in exchange for that, since there were no locations to really put additional trees, we said we'd put 6 shrubs in. And we did that. Well, the owner did that, and he put a couple of no disturb markers here. I have the as-built plan as well. I did sketch in where the shrubs are and the no disturb markers. There was remember there was a piece of black corrugated pipe that I think came either out of I think it came from the downspout, and it led onto the adjacent property, which happened to be town-owned land. And that was cut back as desired so that it's on the property. I asked Jackie to go by and take a look at this, and I didn't hear anything nefarious, so I'm assuming we're all set to issue a certificate of compliance.
Yeah, I thought everything was according to plan. I can show photos if anyone's curious, but otherwise, I think we can issue a COC.
I trust you, Jackie.
Yeah, I thought that I remembered it and I thought it looked fine.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I will put forward a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for OOC 307-0871 at 10 Prospect Street, map 40, lot 90, with continuing conditions as listed on the order of conditions.
This is Jen DeCarlo, I'll second it.
And how do we vote? Dodge Shamrock, aye?
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Great. And
Thank you.
thank you. All right, next we have a request for a certificate of compliance, OOC 307-0844 for 46 Alderbrook Drive, map 68, lot 15, wetlands and land management again. So Bill, you must be on.
So I have just a quick update on this one. Remember, for 46, last month we closed out one enforcement order, but there was a second one that remained open. We're going to talk about that at the next matter on the agenda. And then there was the request for certificate of compliance. And remember, in the backyard, the fence enclosed more area of buffer zone. So I was to meet with Jackie and which we did on site, and we agreed upon an area that we will use to revegetate. We're going to sacrifice some lawn up near the house. And so I will have a plan for the next meeting, a restoration plan to cover a minimum of 772 square feet buffer zone that was enclosed by the fence in the backyard. So I have nothing new on the certificate of compliance. So I guess we should just continue this until the July 8th meeting.
I think we continued it until July 8th anyway. But
Okay.
thank you for the update.
I thought there was like low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like one more stake to go in?
That's the next one.
The next one.
That's the next one. Okay.
Okay, I'll read the next one. A request to return to compliance AMEO for 2020-05, 46 Alderbrook Drive, map 68, lot 15, wetlands and lands management.
Okay, the low hanging fruit was picked. That post was moved and Jackie saw it.
Yeah, I was thinking if the fourth posts end up needing to move because of the new restoration area, we can just leave that for me to approve when that happens. If we close out the EO, then it's closed out. So we can discuss if we should change that post location around like the new restoration area so it's not in the middle of it, if that's how it ends up.
Well, because I don't know where this new restoration area is for the previous one. Is that going to need posts somewhere else anyway? If hopefully, maybe this fourth post can just.
Maybe we could just leave it there in the middle of the.
I don't know because I don't know where that is going.
That fourth post will become extraneous. There will be new posts further out. So I'll probably dig that up again and move it further out. But for now, for the matter of closing out the enforcement order, it is properly located and we have done all the monitoring. So we just as soon close that EO out and get a return to compliance.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay,
Okay. I will put forward a motion to issue a certificate of compliance for amended enforcement order 2020-05 at 46 Alderbrook Drive, map 68, lot 15, with the continuing conditions as listed on the order of conditions.
You can amend that to be a return to compliance.
Thank you. I will amend my motion to issue a return to compliance for amended enforcement order 2020-05.
This is Jen DiCarlo. I'll second that motion.
and how do we vote? Dod Shamroth, aye.
Jen DiCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kella, aye.
Great.
Thank you.
All
Jack,
right.
for catching that.
Check that one off the list.
I
Thank
just
you.
did. That's nice. Okay, thanks, Bill.
You're welcome.
Okay, next we have a request for a certificate of compliance in OOC 3070858 for 11 Meeting House Lane, map 34, lot 69, Linebrook, Counseling, and Muska. Is there anyone here for them?
Yeah, hi, this is Kevin McHugh with Lindbrook Consulting.
Hi.
Hi. So if you want, I can share the letter I sent in, and if
Yes,
that would help.
Yes, please.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, how was that?
Great pictures.
Good. All right, so this project was, I think, it's fairly straightforward. It was essentially the homeowners added a small addition to the existing home, and it was on top of what had been a deck with stairs, and down below had a concrete pad area down below. So on the side of the second, so here's the, oops, sorry, I'm having mouse problems today. So this above is the pre-construction picture. Post-construction, you can see the addition is put on top here. They rebuilt the stairs that were there, but they're the same location. So they didn't really expand anything. They just built over the area that was where they already, sort of had a deck and the concrete pad underneath. And same looking at the back of the house. Pre-conditions, this was the deck here, and they added the addition in place of where the deck was. And then they did construct a new set of stairs that comes down to the back. And then looking along the back of the home, as part of a couple of the conditions, one of them was also to put in conservation posts. Those have both been installed. And I think Jackie may have had a chance to take a look at those, but those are out there. But overall, it's a pretty straightforward, small project. I didn't see any evidence of erosion. All the vegetation is stable. Everything's, was constructed essentially the way that was shown on the plan. So I didn't see anything really that varied from it. The only thing I noted in the request was they're going to be replacing the concrete pad, installing a new one there. That's just not finished yet. But that work would be, again, right under the addition. So I don't think would have any real impact if a certificate of compliance was issued. But that's really it. I don't know if there's any questions.
Looks good to me. In terms of repaving that happen, I think as long as it's within the same footprint as planned,
Yeah.
I don't see a reason that should hold up the certificate.
Great.
Yeah, I know normally if the work hasn't been completed, we wouldn't want to issue it, but I know the homeowners had said a good point, which is that it would be something that's just replacing an existing surface, which normally wouldn't have needed a notice of intent.
Yeah.
Right. And it is undercover too. It'll be under the addition.
Yeah. If after that work is completed, you could just let Jackie know so she can just come confirm that everything was done. Then I think I'm okay with that.
Jackie, you feel like you would be able to easily ascertain that it was put back in the exact same spot or paved in the exact same spot? Because there are adequate markings, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I have photos from before, so
Okay.
you can always.
Yeah, I don't love
compare.
it, but whatever. It's good to have stuff done, before we issue COCs.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Jen. I mean, would this have even come in front of us if it wasn't part of a bigger project? I guess that's kind of what I'm going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, theoretically, we could say, well, I guess we'd have to deny it and then, or they could say, well, we're just quote unquote not going to do that. And then separately ask Jackie, can we do this? Which would be acceptable anyway.
That's true. That's a good point. It's true.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just curious. I don't know if I cut out in the beginning, but what is the pressure point here for I know they want the building permit closed, but is there some other, I don't know if I missed that. Are they selling the house or something?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it's just to be able to close it out.
Yeah, I think when I spoke to them, they seemed like they really wanted the building permit to be, maybe it's an occupancy permit or something like that. I'm not sure why they were in a rush on that, but they said that the conservation permit was holding up the building permit. But if we were to continue it, I would be comfortable telling the building inspector not to hold it up just for the driveway.
Sounds reasonable. Anyone else?
I think I'm good. I'm okay granting it if we go that way.
Okay.
I could go either way. I see Jen's point that, there's a certain neatness to waiting until all of the elements are in place before we approve the certificate of compliance. But on the other hand, as Andrew said, if the driveway wasn't part of the bigger plan and it was just replacing pre-existing. So I'm on the fence. I don't feel strongly either way.
So if we do continue it and Jackie lets the building inspector know to release that permit, you would just need to let us know, and then probably no one would even need to come to the next meeting. We would just approve it, assuming everything goes to plan.
Would we need to refile, or would this this request stay open?
Not if you agree for us to just continue to the discussion to the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to speak for the property owners.
Is the-
Can I ask a question? Sorry, I might have missed this. Is there a scheduled date for the paving? Is it even before the next meeting?
I don't know if it is. or
See,
not.
I don't think that was said either, Andrew.
Oh, fair
That's the
enough.
only thing I was thinking about. I go, I don't know
Yep.
if they have a date.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't give me a date.
Is the driveway completely outside of jurisdiction?
I think this whole, if I remember correctly,
It is.
basically, like the whole property is,
Oh, okay, okay.
I might be wrong on that. Don't
It's
quote
in
me.
Riverfront, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just within the 50-foot buffer.
But again, the whole paved surface now sits under a permanent structure, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
And this
so
would be a replacement in kind, which normally
right.
wouldn't need to come in front of us, as assuming the footprint isn't changing.
Yeah, there's no chance for erosion to be generated because it's going to be completely undercover.
Yep.
It's, not changing infiltration or anything. So I think, I agree with what you're saying. You said earlier, I think if this came in front of you with just doing this pad, I don't know, I can't speak for the commission, but it seems like this might be something that could be in our, determination of applicability, if that, or no impact.
Yep.
And we could have, I'm sure the homeowners would be glad to just notify Jackie when it's done. Just so you can confirm it.
Yeah, I honestly think that Jackie should be notified when it's scheduled, just
Sure.
just for the heck of it, because right now we don't know anything about it. So, I mean, it seems like that would be at the very least.
Yeah, I guess we can't really put that as a condition on this, but we could just note on the certificate of compliance that this portion of the work was not completed. And then they can come back to me and ask me about the driveway repaving when it's time,
Yeah, yeah.
which wouldn't need to be a notice of intent.
We could just hold it over another month.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean, if Jackie can have the building permit released, then that, or let them know that they can release it, then that kind of avoids the time pressure. And then assuming that Jackie can, if it happens the next month, Jackie can be notified. She can go look at it. And at our next meeting, the applicant probably doesn't need to be here and we can approve it.
Yeah, I mean, that's reasonable. I just was sending a message to the property owners to see if they could jump on just in case, because they could probably give you, a date.
Okay.
But I don't know if they'll be able to. I think they were tied up tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they had told me they might be able to jump on if we need them, but I think they're guests over or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I don't care if you guys want to vote on it. I mean, there's enough support, it seems like. I mean, I could even abstain. I don't. I mean,
Jen, I'm fine continuing it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to hold
I
up their
am
building
too.
permit. And so
No.
if Jackie can release that, then I don't have any problem continuing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to the building department to release the
sure.
permit, right? So
Of course.
yeah. So I mean, that's a kind of the catch-22 here, right? The building department doesn't want to release it until we release it. You know what I mean? And now we're like proposing to release it. So you guys can definitely vote on this if you're in support of it. I don't have anything against the project. It's I don't know why. I mean, it's in buffer zone, so
I understand the last little bit isn't done, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not done.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if there wasn't the building permit, then I think we would continue this because the work isn't completed. I just want to be amenable to the applicant on it.
Yeah, the reason I think the building inspector would probably be willing to sign off on that if I tell him that the only thing left is the driveway, is because that isn't really part of the building. So if at least the commission is not taking an issue with the building, I don't see why it should not be closed out just because of the driveway, the building permit.
So I'm going to take a stand. I think that we're spending too much time on this, and it's kind of semantics of how we're going to process this. And maybe we should lean in the direction of being conservative and waiting for things to be completed before we make final determinations.
Okay. I concur.
All right, we'll do that. All right.
So we
who else?
continue this?
I can make that motion.
Is
All
there
right.
a consensus?
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Then
All
it's
right.
clean.
Then I will make a motion that we continue the discussion of OOC 307-0858 for 11 Meeting House Lane, map 34, lot 69, until our July 8th, 2026 meeting, to allow time for the paving to occur.
And if that's not enough time, we can always continue it more.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And not as a motion, I'm okay with Jackie letting the building inspector know that, you know, they can, if they wanted to, they could release the permit.
That was going to be my question. Okay.
This is Jen DiCarlo. I'll second the motion.
And how do we vote? Dodd Shamrock, aye?
Jen DiCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Okay, so I guess we'll see you July 8th then, because we'd like it complete.
I hope so.
I hope so. All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Night.
All right. Next, we have requests for certificates of compliance, OOC 307-0238 for 2 Meadow Lane, map 74, lot 5, Meriden Associates. On that one, is anyone here from them?
No, but the owner, Brian Deitch, and Becky
Oh.
Deitch here.
Okay, good. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Well, we've been here for 29 years, and we're selling our home. And we had Meridian come in, and apparently the plans that were initially done, I guess, needed to be resubmitted. So we went through and did the paperwork, and Jackie came out and reviewed everything. And so we're looking to get a certificate of compliance so we could sell our home.
Oh, okay. All right, Jackie, do you have anything you want to add to the whole thing?
Yeah, so there were a few deviations from the original plan that I'll point out to the commission. You can see here, this was the original plan with showing this proposed wood deck in back. Just a deck with stairs, and then let's see where this is the as-built plan of how it looks now. There's a deck here that's smaller than what was proposed. There's also this brick patio that was not originally approved, and then there's this gravel area that was also not part of the original plan. The edge of the buffer zone is here with this dotted line, so only the back of the house is within jurisdiction, and the wetland is over here. I'll show some photos from my site visit. You can see the deck over here, the patio here, and then the gravel to the right of that. There's another view. That's a closer view of the gravel area, which I know the homeowner said it was used for a swing set and a trampoline, I think.
Correct.
And then there's the wetland back there in it does look like a little bit of yard waste was dumped back there, which I told them we asked for the yard waste to stay out of the wetland, but we'll definitely have to make sure that's a continuing condition for the new homeowners to be aware of. Here's just the side, but there's nothing really happening over there, but it is in the buffer zone. So in general, there were some expansions beyond the scope of the original plan, but then the deck was also smaller. I did some math on the amount of square footage that would result in. The wooden deck looked like it was around 450 square feet smaller than proposed. The patio was around 350 square feet. So to me, the difference in patio and deck works itself out. The gravel area is around 500 square feet. And that's around 30 or 35 feet from the wetland. But then there's also the actual shape of the house itself. It looks like there was kind of an area I thought was not really accurate on the as-built plan. You can see there's this part of the house that juts out, and the plan. Where's the plan? The plan didn't really show it going out that way, so that was interesting compared to the aerial imagery. So that was about 150 square feet of buffer zone alteration in this corner. But that was on like the very edge of the buffer zone, so most of it was outside of the buffer zone. So I think overall that area and the patio, you can certainly say that the decrease in size of the deck from the original plan makes up for that. Maybe not the gravel area.
Yep.
But this permit is from 1997, so it's been a while that those things have been there. I guess it's up to the commission what we want to do about it.
Yep. So yeah, I agree that the plus and minus of the decks and the house roughly even out. My only issue is with the gravel. I know that that's still probably permeable. That was expected at least green space. So personally, I would like that gravel removed in the area seeded with grass. But that's just my opinion.
How big is that area?
500 square feet,
Approximately.
approximately.
So Jackie, though, the as-built that was submitted does not accurately depict the improvements on the lot, right?
Yeah, I sort of wonder if there was an addition since the as-built was, I mean, it looks like it was fairly recent, the as-built, but let me see. I was confused by that.
What's the date on the
The
as-built?
date on the as-built is June 1st, so yeah, there wouldn't have been time.
Of 2026?
Yeah.
So it seems like maybe they just took a prior plan and kind of, whatever, put a date on it. I don't know. But
Yeah.
so this is one of those situations where I really believe that by operation of law, they shouldn't even have to come to us for a certificate of compliance because this is so old. I mean, it's way after the 3 years, that this was to record their, obtain their certificate of compliance. We weren't engaged, it sounds like, in any sort of enforcement activities, or on top of this, it's clearly the sale of the house that is the driving force here. That said, though, whatever the as-built plan is that's being submitted should accurately reflect the improvements on the lot. And quite frankly, I don't really, the fact that it sounds like the stuff was there for so long, it is what it is, I think, at this point, because we've kind of sat on our hands and clearly they didn't come forward for a certificate of compliance. I'm not even really that concerned about the gravel. The stuff in the wetlands, I am concerned, or in the resource area, the dumping. I mean, it doesn't. You were very gracious in your description of it, but to me, it doesn't. It looks like probably years of dumping back there. It's very convenient to do that. So that I think having a correct as-built plan, because somebody else is going to step into this property, right? Very soon, hopefully, to the benefit of this homeowner. And therefore we really need to kind of, get control of the situation considering the amount of time that's passed. So I would say that at the very least, the stuff in the back that's been dumped should be removed. If the gravel, I think it's a great idea. Get rid of the gravel. It doesn't really concern me that much, but sure. But get a correct as-built plan, and then we're ready to go.
Yeah, I
Jackie?
think with the dumping, I think at the time we weren't putting that condition on the orders. So I guess that's why it's a little different than the usual situation where we have an explicit condition saying not to do that. It's maybe not allowed by our regulations, but the homeowners might have not been aware of that as much as usual.
But cleaning
We
that
did, well,
Sorry.
sorry, we did speak after when Jackie had said that when our landscaper was cutting the grass this week, we pointed that out to him and told him it can't go back there and there, now who knows who the next one is, but we would be saying something to for our real estate broker and make sure that was passed on to the new buyers.
But it seems to be cleaning that stuff out would be preferable over having to file like an after the fact application for some improvement that was never, approved and without evidence of, we don't have anything about when it was built, so I think cleaning it up would be, people do that all the time. But the as-built is definitely problematic if it doesn't accurately reflect what's been built there.
I'm not quite sure what you're referring to. We haven't built anything on this house in 29 years. What the patio next, we did the bricks outside of the walk-in, and then we did the stones for a playground. But there's been no structural change at all to our house on anything.
Yeah, it did look similar to the rest of the house, so I'm wondering if the as-built was just not drawn very accurately. I'll pull up a map and show what it looks like. No, I'll pull up the aerial photo. I'll have it here. Okay, so here you can kind of see it. There's this piece that extends over here that I didn't see on the original, on the as-built plan.
Could you switch back to the as-built, please?
I don't understand what that even is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it sort of goes like in line with the driveway.
Or where it says
it does say
gravel.
there was gravel, but in reality, it's more than just gravel. It's a structure.
But there,
See this?
Talking about that over there, where?
Oh, is that the screened-in porch?
That was on the house.
Yeah.
So that is a screened-in porch that had always been on the original structure of the house. That has not changed at all. It's the same.
And Meridian said that it was the as-built plan, said it was, what was the?
So, I mean, this was from the Meridian plan, which I believe Jackie has. Said, we are submitting an as-built plan in WPA form 8A in order to obtain the order recorded. Meridian has conducted a ground survey of the property, and it is our opinion that the site was constructed in substantial compliance with the notice of intent site plan prepared by MAI and dated May 14th, 1997.
So the same engineers did the 1997 that just did the current one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They seem to be calling the porch gravel on the as-built plan, which I'm not sure why.
So
Yeah, okay.
So it's within the 100-foot buffer zone, but is this really a conservation commission issue, or is this a town inspector issue, or is this a property owners, you want your as-built to match the property issue?
For us, I think it's we want the plan to match what's there because the next homeowner might come forward and, I think we want consistency, right?
Yeah, I guess like the next homeowner in many years from now could get accused of building the patio without it being on the plan, if the plan doesn't show it.
The screen porch.
Hold on, Will. I'm certainly not an expert on this, but we have the plans, and I believe it shows.
Okay, take your time.
Oh, it's right there.
I guess you'd be able to show photos showing that the patio was there the whole time.
Yeah, the aerial imagery is there.
The patio. The patio.
So it's possible we'd get confused and tripped up by the as-built, but we'd be able to figure it out by the aerial imagery.
So is this the original one?
No, this is the new one.
Yeah, but what is that? I'm sorry, I'm a little confused here. The plan, where the original plan that Meridian had that's showing the porch, the deck is what they're talking about.
Are you talking about the 1997 plan?
Well, I was looking at the current one, 2026, and
But that's it they're talking.
that's not the one that you're questioning. You're questioning the 1997 one.
This was both, well, both of them don't show the porch.
Right. So the 1997 and the current one, neither of them, they show the deck, the corner of the house being aligned with the north edge of the deck. And that's not the case.
Yeah, there's a little bump out. I don't know how they draw plans. So it would have been helpful to have Meridian here.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they can fix the fact that it's not on the plan
What
at
is
this
the-
meeting.
What is there to, I guess, to fix? What do we need to do? I mean, as you know, our home is sold. We have a closing date at June 30th. We want to be compliant. What?
I mean, what I can suggest for the plan, I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but I could note on the as-built plan that gets recorded. I could add my own note saying there's also a patio, or I mean a porch, sorry, in this location, and just point to it on the plan as an imperfect solution.
That'd be awesome.
That would be great. I can tell you that, like I said, we built the house in '97, and that's always been there. Nothing has ever changed. And unfortunately, I'm not very, familiar with blueprints or anything else. I mean, we were just all along was under the assumption that we couldn't do anything with the house unless we, requested it, and also that the buffer zone that you're referring to on the back of our house against the wetlands was always hay baled. And what we were told is that you can't do anything outside of that hay bale line. And we certainly never would and didn't. So when this plan was done and Jackie came out, we were actually kind of shocked about buffer zones and things, that we were even in a buffer zone, or that where that patio was and where those stones were. But obviously that is the case. But we really did nothing with this, in terms of the structure of the house and the whole time we were here.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I can
I trust you.
understand that. Yeah, I can understand it completely. We're just figuring out the correct way to do it.
Yeah, because we just want it documented for the next people that are going to look at this, so it's clear. Like that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So don't worry about it right now. We're figuring out
Yeah.
this whole thing.
I mean,
I mean,
Trying to.
it's interesting because if you look at the GIS, the outline of the house definitely includes, and I'm not looking at the satellite imagery, I'm just looking at the understanding that it's not an instrument survey, the outline or the shadow of the house, and it does include that little bump out. So it's just that the surveyor did not, maybe this was a design tweak, midstream during construction, and they just didn't update the plan, or a roof was decided to put over a deck at a certain point, or an enclosure. So it's just a question of, it's not really an as-built plan if it doesn't really show what was built, or what, so, we understand you have a house sale. This just makes it so complicated when other things on the agenda, or sort of the way we've handled other things kind of become relevant. Jackie, I don't know. I mean, it seems to me like we don't have dimensions. We don't have dimensions of this area that was, part of the enclosed house. Do we have like a side lot line measurement on the as-built?
Yes. It does show that. But yeah, maybe that wouldn't be exactly right if the patio is, it shows 38.6 feet from the side of the lot. Yeah, it's this gravel. They showed this as gravel, even though it's the porch. And that is probably closer.
The structure of the house matches, between the two designs matches. So, the engineers took the original structure and cloned it onto this, new document for creating this, and didn't appreciate that the 97 as-built had this inaccuracy.
Yeah.
They did add the patio and the gravel and the deck having changed to be smaller. So they did note some of the as-built condition, but I think they just made it.
They noted the changes. They didn't really recognize that the original 97 as-built had a different profile on the northern exterior.
I think it's neither of the two plans showed the porch.
Yeah.
Right.
The original plan was not an as-built.
Right. The 97 plan and the current plan, the outline of the house is the same.
Yeah.
I think so. Let me double check.
I'm looking at the property record card that the town has, and it has that porch like fully dimensioned. It's like a 16 by 16, square basically, that, part of it is not exactly square, but it does show it, with some degree of, I don't know, maybe we could rely on it. That in combination with the assessor card.
So let's focus on, what's the question we need to answer, and what is the impact on this observation to, us making a determination whether compliance is substantial. I answered my own question.
I would suggest we put a note on the as-built, as I often do with conservation markers. Like I'll add a note saying conservation markers here if they didn't include it on the as-built. I'd just add a note like above or below the plan for the recorded copy. That's attached to the back of the certificate of compliance, and say that there's a porch that's not shown on the plan that exists. Maybe I can even attach an extra page showing an aerial image of it.
Or make reference to the property card that Jennifer was talking about? If that shows it accurately?
Yeah, it's fully dimensioned, the property record card. You know, if you go like on GIS and then you click on property record card and then the second page shows, I mean, I don't know how accurate this is, but this is the town going in and taking these measurements. So it does show that porch fully dimensioned.
So in part, we're looking to make sure that the Topsfield Conservation Commission records are accurate. Is that a way to kind of insert something into it to make it more precise and to account for the drawing error? Or it's the drawing error in the second one, maybe original plan in the first one.
Yeah, I think that's a good option to just make it clear for the record.
And then we're suggesting the correction according to something that's already in Topsfield's records. So we're not kind of making any leaps or drawing in something from an outside source.
Yeah, I mean, the certificate of compliance could have like a footnote that's, you know, the as-built plan omits from it a covered porch located on whatever I don't know what corner this is, the western rear corner of the house, which is shown on the property record card attached. You could do like an exhibit to the certificate of compliance with this property record, and then you could actually just throw a little note on the property record card that that's what you're referring to, you know, and point to it.
Yeah.
It's like designated OSP, which must be what does OSP stand for? Something porch.
One
Yeah.
super porch.
What is it?
Something one story porch or
One story porch. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's 212 square feet because it has some dimensions, I believe, on it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's outside of the buffer zone.
I think
It's really
maybe
just part of
on
it.
the edge of the 100-foot buffer, right?
Yeah.
right.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that resolution, you know, this as built with the notation on the certificate of compliance and appending to it the property record card.
All right, Jen, one last other thing, other than the porch, do we want to, if we make a motion, we'll make a motion to also do the trash in the wetlands.
The gravel?
Yeah,
Have we
no,
decided
not the
how we want to
I
treat
thought we were
the
gonna
trash and
leave
the gravel?
I thought we were going to leave the gravel.
Yeah,
Because-
I mean, given that the closing date is at the end of the month,
Right.
it's fine.
But it is physically possible easily for them to get the trash removed from the wetlands.
Yes, but would that hold up us granting this?
No,
Could be a condition.
it should just be a condition for Jen.
You know, either way, I'm okay with it. The fact is, this thing's from 1997.
That's what I mean.
It's not ideal. I think that we're saving these people the hassle of coming back because of the notational
Exactly.
the compliance. And honestly, that's more for the protection, I think, of the next group of people.
And we've spent a tremendous amount of time on this one. We have a lot to get through.
So then let's just move forward and make a motion then. If you
Good.
want, I'm happy
Go
to do
ahead.
that.
Jen, you were
Yep.
Yep, that's fine.
So I'm gonna make the motion that I want to make, and then you guys can discuss it, right? I mean,
Yep.
let's make first.
Yep.
So this is 2 New Meadow Lane, so I will make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance for OOC number 307-0238, 2 New Meadow Lane, map 74, lot 5, Meridian Associates, Daich, apologize there for mispronouncing. And that certificate of compliance is going to be subject to continuing conditions as listed in the original order of conditions, and further, it shall include a notation that a one-story covered porch that currently exists at the property is not depicted on the as-built plan that is dated June 1st, 2026, and was submitted with this request. And therefore, the note will reference that porch exists, and it will also include as an exhibit the property record card provided by the assessor, which depicts that porch and dimensions it to provide that clarification.
Sounds good.
That's my motion.
Do we have a second or any
I'll
comments?
second that motion.
Good. And how do we all vote? Todd Shamroth, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bressingham, aye.
Ben Kella, aye.
Okay, folks. You just have got to clean up that wetland.
We will take care of that. Thank
Okay,
you.
we
Thank you.
did our best. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
So can I just clarify, Dodds, like while we have a second in between, the reason I said I'm going to make the motion the way I want to make the motion is we're all entitled to do that, right? And so I just wanted to make sure that you understood it wasn't like me being unnecessarily difficult. It's just that like I can make the motion, we can have a discussion, you guys can vote against it, and I know you try to work in a good.
I thoroughly understood, Jen. Did everyone else?
Perfect,
Yep.
perfect. All right, I'm not just be.
Yeah. Thank you, but no, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, next we have a request for an emergency certificate, EC 2026-02 for 224A Boston Street, also known as 224 Rear Boston Street, map 49, lot 43, requesting an after the fact for installation of a flow device for Beaver Dam. And
I'll present this one.
okay.
So Sarah Lynch of Beaver Solutions had contacted the office while I was on vacation and asked for approval of the installation of a flow device to address the Beaver Dam at this address, which we had previously issued a dam breach permit for flooding at the site. And it had flooded
that
again
2 years ago?
This was only a few months before.
Okay.
But the beavers had come back. Board of Health had issued a trapping permit for the beavers, and beavers still came back and dammed it again, apparently, and it was flooding. So Sue let me know that Dodds had verbally approved them to install the device to address the emergency flooding. The Board of Health had declared it a public health emergency and issued their permit for it. It was installed on May 26th, and they said that it went well and it should function for several years to control the water level and prevent flooding in the area. The only thing we really need to close out issue the paperwork after the fact for an emergency cert, since we didn't do that when it happened at the time I was away. And now that I have all the information to issue the emergency cert, I'm hoping the commission will be open to approving that emergency cert after the fact for installation of the flow device.
All right, courts approved it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they reached out to you, they installed it the way that we would have wanted to be installed, and it had to be installed, so I'm good with it.
Exactly. That's how I thought.
So how does this, is this what people call a beaver deceiver? How does this work?
Yes, I believe it's that's basically what it is. I can read you the details that they sent me, and I can show you the photo of it. So they sent me an info sheet. It's called a flexible pond leveler. It is a beaver deceiver. It's just that's a different company, I think.
So
Might be
I read the thing, but just how does it work? Like the beaver
So
tries to build on the dome and then the water flows out, or
the beaver will try to stop the water flow when they feel like the water flow, or I don't know, somehow they sense where water is flowing through a dam. They'll try to dam it up, but the flow device kind of tricks them because it goes through the dam and lets the
bypasses
water out at
bypasses
another
the
point
dam.
that's more diffuse because there's kind of a like a wide, like almost net sort of thing, but it's more solid that lets the water out in like kind of too large of an area for them to dam it, or maybe for them to even know that that's where it's flowing. I can show you the image of it. Mesh is the word I was looking for. It has this mesh, and then it has the pipe that goes through the beaver dam.
It's so far away from the area that they're sensing the movement that I don't think they even recognize where they should dam.
Okay. So it essentially bypasses the dam and frustrates the beavers. Interesting.
Yeah, it's meant to be able to like peacefully coexist with beavers, because usually other like approaches to beavers, whether trapping or breaching a dam, will usually only be short-lived because other beavers will move in, or beavers will come back and dam it again, because that's just their mission in life.
Great.
I can
Thank you
show a
for-
photo of how it looks.
No, I don't have any more questions.
Okay, so I'm okay because I approved it.
Yep.
All right, so someone's got to make a motion.
Right. I can make a motion to issue an emergency certification for after the fact approval of the installation of the flow device for the beaver dam at 224A Boston Street, map 49, lot 43.
This is Jen DeCarlo. I'll second it.
Then how do we vote? Shamrock, aye.
Oh, sorry, Jen DeCarlo, aye.
And Mulholland, aye.
Martin Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kella, aye.
Great. Next we have requests for emergency for certificate for an EC 2026-03 for 10 Walker Road, map 18.1, lot 41, requesting to remove hazardous tree. Who knows about that? Is there someone on?
I think it's just me presenting this.
Okay.
So there was this tree, which I'll show you a photo of. Just a second. So this tree had dropped a large limb, and the rest of it was looking very damaged. You can kind of see
Oh,
where
yes.
the large limb came off, and then the rest of it started leaning toward the house after the limb fell off. So I think there's a bedroom here, so they were in a hurry to remove it as soon as possible. It's a red oak. I didn't think an arborist letter was necessary here, but the building inspector wrote a letter saying that he thought it was a threat to the safety of the inhabitants. I issued an emergency cert, but it would just need to be ratified by the commission. And I think they're scheduled for early next week to get it cut down. That was the earliest they could do, but they were trying to get it done like today if they could, but then the tree company could no longer do that. So I issued this with our typical tree conditions requiring them to replant a tree as like an addendum to the emergency cert.
Yep.
No problem. Pardon, Ben, I spoke the same time you did.
Oh,
Seems
sorry.
straightforward. Oh,
Yep, I'm good with it too.
Okay. All right, do we need a volunteer to make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion to ratify the emergency certification number 2026-03 for removal of one hazardous tree at 10 Walker Road, map 18, lot 41, with the additional condition that one replacement native tree be planted.
This is Jen DiCarlo. I'll second it.
And how do we all vote? Dodge Shamrock, aye.
Jen DiCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Okay, next we have a hearing in the NOI 3070874 for 76 Camp Meeting Road, map 20, lot 39, Berkowitz, DeRosa, environment request for a deck expansion and a garden and a kitchen garden.
And I believe there's a hearing notice for this that I can read out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, a public hearing will be held via remote participation through video and our audio conference Wednesday, June 10th, 2026 at 7 p.m. or time case is reached to consider the notice of intent for deck expansion and kitchen garden at 76 Camp Meeting Road, map 20, lot 39 in buffer zone and bylaw 200-foot riverfront area to Howlett Brook. This is in accordance with the requirements of MGL Chapter 131, Section 40 and Topsfield General Wetlands Bylaw Chapter 62. Meeting participation instructions will be listed in the meeting agenda, posted with the town clerk a minimum of 48 hours prior to the meeting date, or contact conservation at topsfield-ma.gov. Signed, Jackie Yee, Conservation Agent, posted in the Salem News.
And the abutter receipts in?
Yes. And I think
Okay.
Jordan Bowles is here to present.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes. Hi, my name is Jordan Folds. I'm with DeRosa Environmental Consulting. I'm here representing Murray and Linda Berkowitz with 76 Camp Meeting Road. And I prepared a PowerPoint if I can just share my screen.
Of course, and welcome.
Thank you. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So first I'm going to discuss the existing resources on site. We have riverfront area for Howlett Brook, and that is considered Topsfield bylaw only because under the state, riverfront area is described as a stream normally remains a river except where interrupted by a lake or pond, and this water body is considered mill pond under the state, but due to the Topsfield bylaws, it would be considered the 200-foot riverfront area. And then we also have bordering vegetated wetland adjacent to the river and the 100-foot buffer zone associated with the wetland. And then the existing conditions of the site, there is a single family home and an existing deck and associated stairs. There's an existing landscaped area with a boulder wall. For this project, the homeowner is proposing to expand the deck by 315 square feet with the construction of a landing and steps associated with the deck. And the deck and the steps are going to be wooden and permeable. We're also proposing the conversion of the existing lawn and mulch beds adjacent to the deck to a kitchen garden, and vegetation within the garden is proposed to be vegetables, herbs, and native plantings. There's also going to be an installation of a fence associated with the kitchen garden and 2 gates that are associated with the fence. There's also proposing to extend the existing boulder wall and the conversion of existing lawn to native plantings in a native planting area that's about 2,620 square feet. And I have a copy of the plan here, and I've just zoom in on the next slide so it's easier to see. This is the aerial image of where the proposed kitchen garden is to be. As you can see, it's lawn and existing mulched beds. That's going to be proposed to be gravel, millstone, some wood edges around planters with the proposed vegetables and herbs and native plantings. There's an existing stone wall adjacent to the proposed kitchen garden, and the boulder wall in the back is proposed to be adjusted and expanded. The deck on the right side is proposed to be expanded, and it is to note that the proposed deck is going to be cantilevered off the existing deck, and there will be no ground disturbance. And I have some calculations here. I know this is a lot of numbers, and so I just want to focus on the important ones. There's a proposed additional 870 square feet within the riverfront area. And because of this level of disturbance, we have proposed mitigation area of 2,620 feet, exceeding the 2-to-1 ratio. And here we have a copy of the mitigation planting plan. As you can see, it's on the right side of the property, and it's going to consist of low bush blueberry, sheep laurel, wild ginger, partridge berry, blue wood aster, foam flower, bunchberry, maidenhair fern, woodland phlox, red fescue, hay scented fern, and oak sedge. And I know during the site walk with Jackie, she asked how come we didn't put it closer to the riverfront. And after discussing with the homeowners, they wanted to put it in a shaded area with an area that would be receptive to pollinators, because they're going to be keeping bees, and this is a great location for increase in pollinator species, like flowering species for the pollinators involved with the bees. And then we also have this restoration area concept design, where you can see the existing area and the proposed plantings within the street. And we're gonna have, again, the plantings that I discussed. And then I will take any questions. And I will go back to the restoration plan for questions.
So one thing I wanted to note is that I realized today, while just reviewing everything again, that the applicant had overpaid the fee. So we left a voicemail saying that they can stop by tomorrow or early next week if they want to submit a new check.
Okay, yeah, we can do that, definitely.
Yeah, just then we can return or shred the prior check. I just want to make sure we're not overcharging for that. So I'm glad I caught that. It's totally fine for us to, that shouldn't hold up us approving the plan, but just wanted to make that known. So I know I noticed on the site visit there was a tree that appeared to have been cut. I think Jordan had said the homeowner thought that they had asked me about the tree, but I didn't remember or have any documentation of that. I know we are proposing more than 2-to-1 restoration anyways. So I don't know how the commission feels about that. Maybe that's enough restoration that we don't need to, we can consider it.
And I did want to
adequate,
follow up
but-
on that as well. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, go ahead.
That he did say the tree was dying and it was gonna potentially fall on his garden house, which is located slightly south of the proposed restoration area, and that's why it had been cut. But we did want to see what the commission thought about the exceeding the 2-to-1 before we plant, potentially increase to include another tree.
Yep, I hear that logic. Jackie, I'm seeing a note here about how far away this is, and that it wouldn't qualify as a restoration area because it's too far away, or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah, so I think that's why it's mitigation rather than restoration, which mitigation has to be 2-to-1. Because I think for restoration, you have to select areas closer to the river for riverfront. Jordan, is that Is that the reasoning, or did you have another reason why it was mitigation, not restoration?
I believe it's mitigation, not restoration, because it's not under the Wetlands Protection Act, so we're doing this under the bylaw. And again, I think it was because he wanted to have it in the shaded area for the pollinators.
Okay. Yeah, I think under our bylaw, we generally would use the requirements of the riverfront when it comes to riverfront, if it's bylaw riverfront area. I think the difference is just that DEP wouldn't need to like review it by their riverfront standards. But to me, it seems like it's still sufficient mitigation for the work, and a lot of that work is planting plants, which are probably equivalent to a lawn area anyways, in terms of having like the garden plants within the garden. So
yeah,
it's not like the most impactful use of that site that it could be.
I'm sorry, for the mitigation area or the
garden that's being built.
Yeah, no, I mean, I appreciate planting some natives in there, but I think that for the space that's going to take up, the proposed mitigation area is really what's going to be doing the work there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the work itself, it's next to the house. I'm fairly okay with that, and I love seeing the like 6 or 7 to 1 ratio of square footage there. So I'm a big fan of that. Would I love to see a tree planted? Yes, but I could be convinced that this is going to be more or less equivalent.
Agreed.
I like it. Looks well thought out.
Yep. Anyone else have anything to say?
For this mitigation area, though, there's I think a 2-year monitoring proposed.
Yes.
So over the course of that 2 years, what I personally would like to see, at least 80% of the plants, ideally 100, obviously, but I think a success metric there would be at least 80%. But before that number gets recorded, I want to make sure that the rest of the commission is okay with that. I'd like some, like, you have numbers of plants coming in, going in, and I would just like to make sure after 2 years that, for me personally, not speaking for the commission, at least 80% make it.
No, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Any other comments before I open it to the public?
Nope.
Okay. Would anyone from the public have a comment on this? Apparently not.
I have one other comment there, Dodds.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Are there, I might have missed this, but are there conservation posts planned to be placed around this area to mark it off as a, protected space?
We don't currently have those.
Okay. I personally would like to see them. Looking at the area, I mean, does 4 sound reasonable to everyone? Kind of 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, kind of marking off. I mean, I could also see 3 potentially working. But I mean, I'll ask the commission what their opinions are. I would like to see them.
Sure. I have no problem with 4 or 3.
Yeah, that sounds good. 4 sounds fine.
4? Okay.
4? Okay. All right, do we have someone who suggests a motion, issue a motion on the order conditions?
Yeah, I can make the motion. Oh, someone else want to?
No, it's an NOI, right? So.
Yes.
Yes, we need to close the hearing. Thank you.
Oh, right. Sorry about that.
Sure thing. Hearing no further discussion, I'll make a motion that we close the hearing with respect to NOI 307-0874 for 76 Camp Meeting Road, map 20, lot 39.
I'll second that motion. Jen DeCarlo.
Good. How do we vote? Dodge Shamrock, yes.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Okay. I will put forward a motion to issue an order of conditions for NOI number 307-0874 at 76 Camp Meeting Road, map 20, lot 39, with standard conditions and the additional conditions that monitoring reports be submitted by end of year after the next 2 growing seasons following planting installation, prepared by a qualified professional. That 4 conservation markers be installed at the edge of the restoration area with locations subject to conservation agent approval. That there be a percent cover requirement of 80% native plantings to survive in that restoration area at the close of the 2 growing seasons of monitoring.
This is Jen DiCarlo. I will second that motion.
And how do we all vote? Todd Shamrock, yes.
Jen DiCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
It should be a beautiful project.
Great, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jordan.
Have a good night.
You too. You as well. All right. Next, we have an enforcement order. 2026-01 for 110 Perkins Road, map 51, lot 10, unauthorized activities in wetlands resource area. Jackie, I guess you've got this one.
Yeah, so it looks like Chris Moody is here, so maybe he would have an update for us, but I did have a site visit with Chris and Ben from the commission. And I know Chris has made some progress. Do you want to speak to that? Chris,
Can you guys hear me?
There. Yes.
Hi, how you doing? So I've got the silt fence and the straw wattle along the whole, basically the whole property line, and back where the bordering vegetative area was, basically Lana had marked out in the last project. And basically I've been moving and just getting my stuff out of, a lot, it's, yeah, a lot of the stuff that's in the front is part of us just moving to Raleigh Ridge Road. So I did have to travel unexpectedly, so. Sorry, so loud.
Jay?
Yeah. Jackie, did you see the drawing that
You calling me?
Lana?
I lost it.
Lana had come out and basically.
No, I think that was
I'm sorry, is that you, Jackie?
Dodds.
Yes. Sorry, I lost my Zoom for a second. I'll get it right back. I can hear you just fine.
So we had done.
I think I got it back.
We did some work on that end of the house back in 2000, and we had gone through the process with the Conscom, and this is back when it was Lana, and basically issued a negative determination, like negative impact on the
determination of negligible impact for the driveway. I think.
Oh, the driveway, yeah, that was after. Just prior to that, there was one on the other side of the house. Basically, the end of the house that I'm on right now.
Yeah, there were a few.
I know that's, like the driveway one's long expired. That was expired back in 2021. I just had some stuff come up. I wasn't able to do it. I did reach out to Mike DeRosa, and he's on board, and basically sent him some photos, and we're schedule a site visit.
Okay, and do you feel confident that you'll be able to get in a notice of intent application by June 24th?
Yeah, as long as, so that's something that he's going to fill out, correct?
Yes.
I'll make sure that he knows that that's, that's the deadline. So I don't think that'll be an issue. He seems to be pretty responsive, so.
Okay. I must admit, I'm a little lost in this conversation right now.
Yeah, I guess I can recap. So we had issued an enforcement order last meeting. It had required installing erosion controls, planting grass, and it required that Chris would need to be engaged with an environmental firm by tonight's meeting to either do a restoration plan or a notice of intent. I believe he's intending to still do a notice of intent to continue working on the projects that he wants to do, is what I understood. The other deadline was that application would need to be submitted by the deadline for our July meeting, which would be June 24th would be the deadline for that notice of intent to be submitted. So that's 2 weeks from today. I know that is a quick turnaround, but hopefully if DeRosa is on board, we can get it done as soon as possible. But
yeah, I'll do the best I can with it, and then I'll just stay in touch with you, Jackie, and let you know if there's any issues.
So so it sounds like you've got the environmental firm. Excellent. Ideally, this will be submitted by June 24th. Excellent. I understand scheduling things happen. Obviously, stay in touch with Jackie. Last is, Jackie, you have photos or have visited the site. Would you consider the site stabilized for right now?
I think it's been greatly improved with the grass and the silt fence. I know it's still not back to normal. I mean, we still have the granite blocks.
Yep.
But I think for now, I think it seems like it's getting better rather than worse.
Okay.
Recently.
I was in regards to the granite, I have been like palletizing it, just sort of, moving it over to the driveway. So
do we have an action here for the commission?
It being kind of.
So
I have
or
a
is this an
comment.
update?
Sorry, I have a comment as a member of the community.
I'm sorry, before you
please, and I think at this point we have to wait for Jackie, what's the plan after we've all spoken?
So it's up to you, Dodds, if you want to open to public comments.
I'll open it. And Courtney, would you please pronounce your name?
Yep, Courtney Mortimer.
and your address, please.
Yep, 117 Perkins Row.
Thank you.
So I am a neighbor, and
okay,
I'd be curious if Jackie has pictures of a recent site visit. I saw the pictures of the restoration with the grass, but I'm not seeing an improvement in the front yard.
So just I heard, and Jackie can pull up any photos that she has. Right now, we're focused, the restoration plan or NOI is due next month. And so that will have the more permanent restoration to the site. Right now, we're focused on making sure that there's no further degradation of the site. I haven't been on site, so I can't speak to their current conditions.
Right. So sorry to cut you off, but I would say there is further degradation.
Okay. Fair enough.
Can you describe it?
I can show the most recent photos I have. I wasn't able to get out there today because I was preparing for this meeting, so I only have the photos that Chris sent me for today. But last site visit, I'll show you what it looked like at that time. So this is on the front, on the right side, if you're coming from the road. So there's still materials.
This is more than a month ago, though, right? April 22nd.
This was Oh, this one is not the most recent. I'm sorry, that was April. Let's see.
While you're bringing these up, can I speak to that for a second?
Yeah, let me just close and I'll look for the photo.
Yeah, I'll.
Hi, Courtney.
Yeah, sure. If you want to speak to the work being done at the front of the lawn, that sure.
Just the process of moving. And I had lost my business and recently had a stroke, so everything sort of got just mixed up. But it's, I'm on it now, and I should be able to greatly improve it in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. I think you cut off at the beginning there, but I mean, hearing that there were some medical issues and moving and stuff. So, I mean, we understand that things happen and plans get delayed, but right now the work that you're doing was not permitted for anything with us. So, there's only so far we can go. Jackie, when was the last time you did a site visit with Ben fairly recently, right?
Yeah, so this is May 28th.
Okay.
So you can see this is close to the front on the left. That there's this hole that the machine was in was covered with the tarp at that time. This was the area. It's almost at the road, so really in the front of the property. And those are the granite blocks that you saw in the other photo. There were some that were covered up by tarp here. Then there's still some equipment here.
Okay.
So it's definitely not the final condition that we're looking for, of course.
Is there erosion
main
control
thing right
for the front of the
now,
house?
So the wetland, kind of where the way the topography is and the location of the wetland is way back
Okay.
off to the back of the house.
Yep.
And the way the topography is, I'm kind of most worried about this corner over here, which is where the erosion controls are.
Okay.
So for now, the priority is to prevent any sedimentation or anything getting into the wetland. Obviously the buffer zone, not the buffer zone, the riverfront area itself is still impacted by the ongoing storage of these materials. But currently we're just trying to keep the site stabilized from anything getting into the wetland until we can resolve this with either a permit or restoration of the site if we decide not to pursue or approve a permit.
Yep. I hear you. With the enforcement order, we issued a cease and desist to any work being done on the site that isn't directly involved in stabilization, basically. And so I guess I'll reach back out to the member of the public, Courtney Mortimer. And when you describe that there's further degradation happening, I'm sorry, could you just go in a little more detail on what you've been seeing?
Yeah, these photos are from 2 weeks ago, but if you think about the trajectory or the trend of the accumulation that is occurring on the front yard since April, 2 weeks, a lot can change. So I think I would just encourage another site visit. And again, I don't want to harbor on anybody who's going through medical issues or anything like that. I think I just want to have on public record that the site is not improving.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, hopefully Jackie can, not to give Jackie more to do, but hopefully Jackie can get out there fairly soon and take another look at it. And yeah, at this point, assuming that no further work is happening other than stabilization, we have to wait for the NOI to come in before we can allow any other major changes to the space to occur.
So there's no work continuing, but like I am moving. That's like I have a lot of stuff here from my
So
previous
this is-
business that
Is that stuff
to be
being
moved to
stored?
the new property. I didn't have it at that time. I'm sorry. Was that a question for me?
Sorry, Maureen or Dodds, did you have?
Oh,
something?
I was just going to say, we're not in a position to act on the enforcement order or, release it. What is before us as far as a decision is whether we need to modify it to add anything. And I haven't heard anything that should be added. So basically, this is an update on progress and a touch base to reconfirm that a notice of intent is due June 24th so that we can focus on the plan and how, the July 8th meeting and, work together to resolve these issues. So unless somebody else sees like an action for the commission, I
think the I guess to clarify for the neighbors, the Conservation Commission's enforcement order didn't ask for the equipment to be removed specifically. It just asked for the site to be seeded in areas with disturbed soil for grass to grow back, and for the erosion control barrier to be installed to prevent impact to the wetland, and then for progress with engaging with an environmental firm, and the deadline for applying for the notice of intent permit. I think if the Conservation Commission decides to issue any further conditions on the materials, they could, but I think I feel like it might be best to just request that no additional work is being done.
I mean, there's still a cease and desist present, so we shouldn't even need to condition that. I hear you, Jackie.
There shouldn't be any ongoing work on the site.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, unless it was directly involved in stabilization, nothing should change.
I'm moving.
But that, I mean, that's
off the property, right?
That's just inside the house. That shouldn't. I mean, is what outside stuff in the buffer zone needs to get moved out there. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
right.
My understanding is the equipment isn't in the buffer zone, right? So
that's why it wasn't in the riverfront area.
Riverfront, okay.
Under the bylaw.
Yeah.
It's up against the street and the driveway, basically. Yeah. I can get that out of there.
I don't think we need to modify anything, assuming that by next meeting we'll have an NOI or restoration plan in front of us.
I agree.
I think this was a positive update to hear that the 3 things asked for today were achieved.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, and thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
Ben.
Yeah.
And just please keep us updated. And
yeah,
to the neighbors, if you see something going on that you are concerned about, you can always let me know and I can come out there to look at it.
All right, thank you all. Next, we have an amended enforcement order, 3 of them actually. An order for 2016-01 for 20 rear, 21 and 25 Johns Lane, map 76, lot 4. An order for 2022-4, 20 rear, 21 and 25 Johns Lane, map 6, lot 4. and an order in 2024-4, a 20R, 21 for 20R 21 and 25 Johns Lane, map 76, lot 4. They're all three for all the three places. And Jackie, I guess you gotta take this one.
Can I just jump in here, assuming I'm reading these notes correctly? I think he's got 3 days and we levy fines to make contact with Jackie with evidence these plants have gone in, because I'm sick of this.
Sounds good for me.
I'm fine to refer it to DEP as well, but like, I'm done.
I am too. It's been years.
I'm done.
You know.
And he needs like proof the plants are in, photo evidence, fines, otherwise 3 days.
Can I ask for 4 just because
4.
that would be a Sunday?
Great. What? Yeah.
Well, you're gonna issue, what are you gonna do? You're gonna issue something tomorrow, and then you have to probably mail it, right?
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah,
whatever the
week.
number of days makes this work, but like, I'm done.
And then
Then
of
you-
course if he doesn't receive it, right? You know, so is it certified mail? Like, let's just be. I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's just figure this out really
Yep.
quickly.
Yes. No. I mean, I was going real.
It's Jen. You've been dealing with it for years too.
You know what though? Because it's just yeah, whatever. I've said it all at the previous hearings. I just
Yeah.
want to get
Yeah.
for Jackie.
Count out
It's
the
a
days
Friday.
and
Huh?
count out the days and
Yeah, but Friday. Oh no, tomorrow's Thursday. Friday town hall is closed, so I'm assuming that you got to send what, certified mail.
Yes.
And
Or
then-
hand delivery.
Could you just do 3 days from receipt?
I don't know if it would take me longer to find out when it was received because the
Okay.
certified mail slips come back weeks later sometimes. I can mail it out tomorrow and I can try and get in contact with the property owner by email and phone and see if I can reach him.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I know we're all in agreement here, but it's June, and so we are past the planting. So this is now, if the plants aren't in, they shouldn't go in for another couple months. So this is just insanity to me.
No, the plants should go in, and then if they die, they got to get replanted, right? I mean, that's like,
I guess so. Yeah. I mean,
it's all in his control. And
Yeah.
he reassured us at the last hearing that yeah, everything was gonna, he had a desire, if I'm paraphrasing correctly, to be in compliance and wanted to get this done. And we were here on that bridge issue that was not built properly, and
Yep.
the things behind the house that weren't done. And again, that there was a desire to get these things accomplished. And yet here we are, 3 different enforcement orders. So the question is, how do we do this? Our next meeting is July 8th. When, like, what would the fines be? I can't remember. We haven't done this in a while. So
I know I have no idea. I don't think I've ever done it, but I am so ready to.
last time I tried to do it, it got nigged. And I don't even know if it was for this person. I can't remember, it was so long ago.
Well, I think we said it was something like this. You have X number of days to provide proof, otherwise they start, and they did provide proof. So, I mean, like I said, I mean, if it's date of receipt, you got 72 hours. You know, whatever mechanics. I don't know what the mechanics are for delivery or what's easiest for you, Jackie. I'm obviously whatever's easiest for you, but I need to see some real progress here. I'm so done.
It's terrible all the time we've taken up on this whole project, all these months, years.
Yeah, I guess for anyone who may be tuning in just now to this through cable TV or whatever, what we're discussing is the fact that all 3 enforcement orders had a planting deadline of today. I guess for the meeting minutes too. All 3 of these enforcement orders had a deadline of today for all the plantings to go in, and we have not heard back or received proof that the plantings have gone in. And I had reached out to the property owner recently asking for an update and didn't receive one.
Yeah, I mean, these enforcement orders are up to 12 years old. So I have, there's no more wiggle room here.
So just a quick question too, because I think DeRosa's involvement in this was tenuous at the he was kind of getting out of this, but then he was back in and out. I mean, was there any attempt to contact Mike DeRosa?
Yes, I did ask him about it, but at the time that was I think a week or two ago, and he said that he hadn't heard back from the property owner about the plantings,
Okay.
like
I mean,
when he could do that work.
my understanding was that Mike was sort of segueing off of this, if I'm remembering correctly. But in any case, so let's just figure this out quickly so it doesn't waste any more time. I mean, the issue is that we have to provide him notice that he hasn't complied and that fines are applicable and should be given, you know, obviously some amount of notice to bring it into compliance, right? But not like, but he's already had years. I get that. And part of the other problem here is that is, if I may, based on my opinion, is that there's constantly plan changes that kind of make this ever getting to the finish line possible. Like we're always kind of back at the starting gates. So I would just ask the other commissioners to take note of that if we're back here at the next meeting. But let's figure this out. I mean, I would say we have to give a hard deadline to them, and saying receipt is not going to be adequate because they might never pick this thing up, right? That's typically the case with certified mail. So I would request that Jackie send it both certified mail and first class mail. And then let's just figure out a um, a deadline for him to comply with. So that all plantings that, you know, that he was required to, it's just the plantings, right?
Yeah.
So today is what, June 10th, and you know, I know it's going to be a challenge to get it out the door tomorrow. I mean, I don't know, I'm assuming it would be. If it was me, it would be. So
Well, let's ask Jackie if he can get it out or not.
I can get it out tomorrow, and then I don't know how long it would take the mail to get out. Probably at least 2 days, I would imagine.
well,
And
put it
then-
this way, right? You how about this? How about this? The next
Day.
submission date is June 24th, right? So perhaps everything has to be done and reported back to us by the submission deadline. It's just a suggestion, Andrew.
I love the grace that you are granting right now, Jen, but
Oh,
I have
believe
no
me,
doubt.
believe in it
there's gonna be
either.
no more grace.
I don't believe in it
I
either.
think that's more than enough time for him to send photos saying they're already planted, because they should already be planted.
Don't hold your breath or eyesight.
Well, okay, so you know, I guess maybe when can the plantings be planted and be provided, right?
If they're not in the ground, I don't really care. Well, obviously, I mean, I care that they're in the ground, but like if they're not in the ground yet, like you're past the deadline. We're just granting more time for you to do the thing that you already had a deadline for. I want to see the photos. Okay, like that's, and every day that you don't get me those photos past whatever date we picked, those fines should be levied. And I'm not yelling at you right now, Jen, obviously.
Oh, I know you're not. I know you're not. I'm just trying to figure out the practical way to like handle this because number one, assuming, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, he's got to get these plants, he's got to get them installed in the ground, which is his problem, not our problem. And then he's got to
Exactly.
provide us proof. And then it's just a question of like, you know, what is the fine? When does it start levying? And, you know, I'm guessing that part of this is Jackie's going to need to go out and validate that they're in the ground. So I'm just thinking more like downstream of like, how do we manage this? Because we don't usually do this. And honestly, we've had a few over the years, difficult. I'm not even saying this guy's particularly difficult. I'm just saying that we've had a few really sticky wickets in the past where we've gone straight to DEP because it's become absolutely impossible to deal with them. But this happens so rarely, you know. But in this case, it is like, you know, it's what's the word I'm looking for? Egregious. That's the word.
I mean, we can send this to DEP. I mean, that's going to make it easier for everyone here theoretically as well. But is that going to then, reset us X number of years on him getting this figured out with DEP? Like, I mean, the site is not in compliance, and it hasn't been in compliance for 12 years.
Mhm.
So, whatever gets this
no,
done fastest.
I don't think we should send it to DEP. I think, I think we should just say, hey, by this deadline, you have to, but we have to be realistic. The 24th sounds like it's really far away, but I'm looking at a calendar right now and it is totally not that far away.
It's 2 weeks. Yeah, no, I
by
hear
the
you.
time this thing gets out, we got, weekends in between, he's got to receive it. Then, I think 2 weeks is as more than adequate, obviously, to get the stuff in and then provide proof by the 24th, which is it's just sort of like a natural organic beauty. And like, that's our filing deadline for the
Yep, I
next
hear
meeting. And he needs to appear at the next meeting as well.
That won't bother him.
Someone
So,
just doing the meeting.
yes, I was just going to say to the person that just joined the meeting, we are currently discussing the amended enforcement orders with respect to John's Lane.
How you doing? I couldn't get on. I've been trying. I have no internet down here, so my phone, I just got it to work. Sorry.
Okay, great. So could you identify yourself?
It's Ray Lawton from 25 Johns Lane in Topsfield.
Great. How did you know to get on at this very moment? I'm just curious.
I didn't know. I've been trying to get on for about an hour. I'm down the Cape and my internet, the cable going to my house is broken in the street, so I didn't have internet. I've been trying to get on, and I talked to my son. I didn't have Zoom on it, my phone or something. I don't know. Anyways, I got on just now.
So you missed, to be quite frank, this is Jen DiCarlo, you missed a very fiery, spirited conversation about your enforcement order because our understanding is that the plantings have not been installed. So do you want to give us an update?
Yeah, so behind the house, I took all the stone out, I put all the loom in and all that, and then by the bridge, I recaptured the area that I was supposed to, recapture in the wetlands there. I talked to Mike about getting the plants. I was in Switzerland, so I just got back last week, but he couldn't get the plants in time for me to plant them for this meeting. So as soon as I get,
Did you contact the office to let Jackie know that there was an inability to get the plants?
Mike said he did talk to Jackie.
He
Jackie,
did not
you hear
inform
from
me of
Mike?
that.
Sorry, Jackie, I didn't mean to talk over to you. What was that?
He did not inform me of not being able to get the plants.
Okay, he told me he called you and to see if we could have an extension. That's what he told me the other day. So he did not talk to you?
He did not talk to me on the phone. He did email me a few weeks ago, but at that point in time, I think he said that he hadn't heard from you yet about when the plants would go in.
Well, so I was away, but when I got back, I had contacted him, but he said he couldn't get the plants in time for this meeting. So I did everything I could, but I don't have the plants. As soon as I get the plants, I'll plant them right away. I got everything prepped for it. I got all behind the house. I got all the loom in there and all that, and it's all ready to go. So there's no more like driveway behind there anymore. And then and around the bridge, it's all ready to go. I just got to plant the plants.
So I'm checking on what Mike said to me. So the last update he gave me on this was on May 29th, where he said that he had been trying to get in touch from you and had heard from you that you were overseas until June 3rd. And he had not been out to the site and was not sure if the plantings, if anything had happened yet. And he said, I said to please keep me posted. He said, I will keep you posted. And that was on June 1st. And that was the last I heard.
So who's responsible for buying the plants on your team?
Well, I'm responsible for it's my land, but I thought Mike was going to be able to get them, but he couldn't get them in time. So I'm having my guys look for the plants now so we can get that was on that list there. I did find like the blueberry plants, and there was one more thing, but there was a couple of them I'm having a hard time finding. So I guess my question is, if everything on that list I can't find, but I can find, like say for instance, there's like 29 blueberry plants, and I can't find like 10 of something else. Could I have 35 blueberry plants, or 10 of
It's your
another?
restoration plan, like you talk to Mike. I'm sorry to speak out of turn here, but it literally is your restoration plan, your scientist. And so if, it's on you to propose plants that you can obtain and perhaps to suggest alternatives. And we don't have your restoration plan in front of us at the moment. This is, really wasting more time on our agenda to have to go through this, but it is your plan. And if you're unable to satisfy the requirements of your plan and the 3 different enforcement orders, it is insufficient to say, I thought my wetland scientist was going to do it, and to leave, and to not have this covered. So, it's on you to go look at your restoration plan and to be actively trying to secure the plantings and to say, okay, I'm having a problem, and to reach out to the commission before the deadline, right? To let us know that you're having this issue. Because otherwise, now we're here, and this is like the umpteenth hearing or meeting on this particular site, despite all of the assurances that have occurred at prior meetings, we're still dealing with this. So I just don't think it's sufficient to say I was out of the country and I'm not sure he couldn't get them, and we might not be able to get them.
Well, I didn't say I wouldn't get them. I just couldn't get them right away. And you're right. I should have had it done by right now. And I thought I was all set, but apparently I'm not. But I will. I promise I'll get on these right now. And this week and the next couple of weeks I'll get them planted. I will find the plant somewhere. And if I can't get them, I'll call you, Jackie. If there's a plant that's on that list that I can't get, I'll tell you what it is. But I'll try my hardest to find everything on there and plant it and get it done.
But so that's great. That's wonderful that you're making that representation. But I think before you got on the meeting, we were talking about levying fines. And we are, to be really clear, right? We are volunteers, we're members of your community, but it's an enforcement order, right? It's an order. It's not a request. It's not a please do this and we'll be happy. It's an order. And so when and again, I'll speak on my own behalf, when you keep coming back and you're not able to comply, right, and provide reports and to comply, it shows that you're not acknowledging the enforceability of this order. And so now we're in a difficult position. I don't think it's enough for us to simply rely on the representation that you're going to try over the next couple of weeks to get these plants. I think what we need to do, and this would be my suggestion, is to set a hard deadline following which, if it is not complied with, fines will be levied. And this is not something that we take lightly at all. It rarely ever happens, right? But this is just the demonstration that this is not being treated like the order that it is very upsetting and frustrating, because it's 9:30 at night and we shouldn't be dealing with this. So my suggestion is that we are going to establish a hard deadline, which we've done a million times before, but after this, there's going to be
Jennifer, it says June 24th.
Sorry, yeah, we were talking about having you put everything in by June 24th. This is before you got on the call, and providing photographic proof, notifying Jackie, having her go out and verify, and having you come to our July 8th meeting. This is your restoration plan. You should be able to satisfy that requirement. So I'm all for that. Is there any reason you can't?
I don't think what's the date today? So that's
The 10th.
June 10th.
so that's 2 weeks from now. I don't think I'll have a problem. I'll do my best. That's all I can say. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Everything over here. I'm trying to get everything done. It's not like I know it's been several meetings and all that. It's not like I don't care though. I'm trying to do a good job there. It's just a lot of work, and I just thought this would be taken care of. It's not. So,
I want to interject. It's difficult to accept that when you have not complied with the requirement to provide monthly update reports. So you can't say that you're doing everything that you can possibly do when you didn't undertake and satisfy the simple requirement of giving Jackie updates on a monthly basis. So here we are. We need to get this done, and we're going to give you a timetable. And if you can't meet the timetable, then we're ready to start imposing fines. And we're allowed to do these fines, and we try to work cooperatively and in good faith. But you know, we get to the 25th, and the restoration order isn't satisfactorily completed, then we can issue fines, and those fines every day is a new offense, a new violation. So 25th fine, 26th fine, 27th fine, until the order is satisfied. So, you know, really, you need to try better.
So that said, perhaps we issue, I guess, we amend the enforcement orders to provide for this new deadline. Is it all 3 enforcement orders that require this obligation, Jackie?
All 3 of them do have plantings and a restoration plan associated with them. So that was all due before this meeting. So I think it could be for all 3.
Okay. So I guess, so just to talk this through, commissioners, so it would be establishing June 24th as the deadline by which Mr. Lawton.
Can I ask you why is the 24th picked anyways? It's like that only leaves me 2 weeks. Why wouldn't we?
That's our submission deadline for our very next meeting. By the way, it wasn't, you've had way more than 2 weeks. That's
I'm saying, I'm talking from like right now. I'm trying to get this thing done right now. So,
but the deadline was today.
Oh, you're breaking up.
This is like technically 2 weeks from now, you're going to be 2 weeks over the deadline we already had. This is the final grace of 2 weeks that we're going to grant you.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like, it's one thing to say I can't get the plants, it's another thing to provide some sort of proof of your efforts, right? To reach out to Jackie and say, I've contacted every, vendor on the North Shore. I've tried, these suppliers, and I just can't get these plantings. This is when I can get them, or there's some issue with these plants. People come to us all the time with those kinds of for lack of a better word, excuses, right? But to come in and say, I'm trying the best and I just can't seem to get them, and I thought that, Mr. DeRosa was on it. These are a multitude of excuses in a very lengthy situation. And I just want to remind you that the earliest enforcement order listed on our agenda tonight is from 2016. So this is, and we know that this is a big
I didn't even own the I've only owned the property for.
I know, and we've heard that many times before.
Well, I can't tell you what the person before me did, but and most of these, 2/3 of these enforcement orders you have on me is from the previous guy. It had nothing to do with me. Only one thing, I put the bridge in. It wasn't even an enforcement order. It was I was putting the bridge in. But all the other stuff that I'm fixing, and I planted all the trees out back, and I took all the dirt out of the wetland area. I didn't do any of that. I fixed it all, but I didn't do any of it. I didn't do one thing.
We've heard that. Mr. Lawton, we've heard this story at so many hearings.
It's not a story. It's what happened, though.
It's a narrative. It's a narrative that you provided.
It's not a narrative. It's the facts. I didn't own the property back then. I didn't cut any trees down. I didn't fill any wetlands in. I didn't dig any land out. No, it's not a narrative. It's the fact. And I'm sorry that it's not done.
It is, you have given us this summary of what you allege are the facts repeatedly. And this is, going back many years. So now let's get it to the finish line. We don't want to see this on the agenda again. You've got 2 weeks. If you really are failing to get plants, then you'll provide something to Jackie that says, you know what, they're not, there's a blight on blueberry bushes this year. You know what I mean? Like, do something.
I know
more.
what you're saying. I'm on. I don't want to put this
Yeah.
before you guys. I'm on it. I'll get it done. I'll file my.
So,
I mean, it's not your issue, but my landscaper never showed up. He was supposed to plant in the yard. He was supposed to grade everything. It's just we ended up doing it all ourselves. It was just a pain in the ass. But whatever, that's not your issue. I'm on it. I'll get on it. I'll get these things planted, and I'll get the whole area done. I'll call Jackie, have her come down. We'll go through it, or I'll take pictures, whatever you guys want, and I'll get through this thing. So for the next meeting.
Yeah, and to reiterate Jen's point, if something like that happens, your landscaper doesn't show up, send an email to Jackie. Document that you are making efforts in the right direction, and things that are out of your control are happening.
Yes. I'll take care. I thought it was taken care of. I thought the other person, but I'll get people on board that will do it. And I'm sorry. I don't. That's all I can tell you. But I thought the things were taken care of. I thought Jackie was being notified, because I would have notified her myself. But I'll take care of this from now on. It'll be done.
So before you leave, we need to do a motion so that we actually have something on the record that holds your feet to the fire. So I'm going to attempt to make a motion. If I miss something, my fellow commissioners will let me know. So my motion is with respect to amended enforcement order 2016-01, 2022-04, and 2024-04 with respect to the outstanding items, including the plantings. These will be completed by June 24th with photographic evidence of their completion provided to Jackie Yee, our administrator, and contemporaneously with that, the applicant owner or his representative will reach out to Administrator Yee to schedule a in-person inspection of the work that has been done. And if the work is not substantially complete, following that inspection, fees will be assessed for each day that the work remains incomplete. And then the applicant, their representative or designated party will appear at our July 8th meeting to discuss the final, discuss the status of these enforcement orders at that time. So to be clear, that's my motion. It includes, just to reiterate, it includes the work has to be done by the 24th. Evidence has to be provided to Jackie, and a site visit has to be scheduled with Jackie immediately. There can't be a delay. It has to be reach out to her once that work is done on the 24th so that she can schedule that. And if after that meeting, the work's not complete, then she is authorized to assess fines. And in any case, you or your representative have to be at our July 8th meeting because these enforcement orders also need to get closed out. So the goal is to be returning the site to compliance. So that's my motion. Did I miss anything?
What about the DPW?
No, we're not gonna refer to I think you mean DEP. We're not gonna refer to the
Yeah,
DEP.
sorry, I meant that, but
that's okay. I know.
I think maybe that should be in it also. Then we might turn it over.
Okay, so I will amend my motion that in the alternative to assessing fines, let me pause for a minute. It could be that we refer it to DEP, but I think we'll assess the fines. Let's assess I won't amend it. I mean, we could.
I mean, we can make that. We can make that decision on July 8th.
Yeah. I think I was going to add, just to be clear, that we're retaining all prior requirements of the restoration plan that was approved, including monitoring of the planting areas by a qualified professional.
Right.
Yes. I'll amend my motion accordingly.
And one other point there, do we have a survival rate metric on that? Was that in the restoration plan?
Yeah, it should be you're 80%, right?
Let me
at least 80, if not 90. And we should really get this in our standard conditions.
I recommend that, so I recommend that I amend my motion to include that 80% survival rate, in light of the fact that there is continued non-compliance at this point.
I'll second the amended motion.
And how do we vote? Dod Chandler, aye.
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnian, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Okay, we expect to hear from you by the 24th and appear at the meeting on the 8th.
And to be extra clear about the survival that we were talking about, that's for after the years of monitoring. That's not for when the plantings are first installed.
Yeah, after
be
2 years,
100%.
80% of the plants need to still be alive, at least 80. Ideally all, but at least 80.
After 2 years of
After 2
monitoring.
years.
Okay.
Fair enough. Sorry, I'm putting this guys through it, but I'll get it done.
Good luck. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Sorry, I know.
Okay. I take it where the regulations were putting no updates on that. And a discussion of increasing fee amounts for after the fact permits.
Can I just quick have you and Maureen worked on stuff, Jackie? Yeah.
Yeah, we can work on it. If you have any suggestions, feel free to send them my way. Just don't send it to the whole group.
Yeah.
Because of open meeting law.
Understood. No, just curious.
Yep.
Thank you for working on it.
Okay, do we all want to take time to work on fees right now?
I'm willing to give it 10 minutes.
Me too.
I apologize. I missed something there. Sorry. What was that, guys?
I wanted to know if you had 10 minutes more to work on fees.
Oh,
That for after the fact NOI is increasing the fee rate on those.
Anybody?
how about we, all right.
I say we just triple and call it a night.
So what is the standard NOI fee?
It depends on the project. Like there's like a square footage multiplier for riverfront area. I think it's like 0.3 times the square footage. And
But just like thumbnail, you know, where does the filing fee fall typically in a range?
I'd say like it's in maybe like a few $100 for a notice of intent. A big one could be in the thousands.
What about 1.5 times?
Well, these are for NOIs for people that did not come in front of us, right? Like they are.
This is the ask for forgiveness rather than ask for approval strategy. So this is a.
I mean, I'm fine going up to like 4x here. Like I am anything to hopefully make people take a second look before they do their work and double check if they have wetlands.
Before they fail to do any work.
Yes.
Before they intentionally do work and you know say this is what I want done and I'm gonna pay a fine or ask for forgiveness and you know in total disregard.
All of the above.
Right.
Well, do we know what the building department charges? Because they have the same issue. Do they double?
I think they double the fines if I remember correctly.
So why don't we double? Start there.
All right. Well, I'm fine starting there, matching the building department for after the fact stuff. I think that's a happy compromise.
Sounds good.
The other language, though, we just need to make sure we include is the ability to waive that, because, I mean, you know, it's always nice to have the ability if we need it.
Oh, listen to you.
Well, I mean, can I think of reasons that people? I mean, who knows? We have to take people at their face value.
An emergency situation where they decide to act.
Yeah. You know what? I would hope we all had common sense enough to realize things like that.
Yeah. Well, I think we just need to make sure there's language in there that allows us to do that without having to go through any administrative.
Yeah, and rather than articulating examples of circumstances, just say, you know, that the commission has discretion.
Yes, I agree.
To waive.
I mean, really
extra fee. So we don't need So we
No,
don't need to say this circumstance or
No,
that
yeah.
circumstance, and does this
Okay.
fact pattern fit into that? Just
Yep.
that we have the discretion to
That's
waive
fair enough.
the
Okay.
excess
Yep.
fee.
Okay.
Yes, I
Do
agree.
we want to be able to modify the fee rather than waive it? Like, say the permit fee is $2,000 and we don't want it to be so high, but we still think it should be higher than the
Let's just keep
normal.
it simple, binary.
Yeah, I would give us the ability to use the standard NOI fee in place of the after the fact NOI.
Because I don't think we don't want to be creating precedents where we
Yep.
make these judgment calls and we'll give you 20% and you 40% just procedurally. That's messy.
Yeah, I think two options.
Yeah.
Okay, I think those were all my questions regarding the after the fact permit fees. So
we'll
I
make
don't love 2x, but
too high or
What
too
would you
low?
prefer?
I'd start smaller than that. But
I mean, we're matching the building department, so do you think the building department's fees are too high? And I'm not. This is not.
yeah, I think all government fees are too high. I mean, that'll be my. That's a stance on that.
yeah, I think we are allowed to issue fees that are commensurate with the cost of like me doing my job to review the permit. So like if we put a fee that's way too high, it could be challenged on that basis as like, oh, is that really how many hours it takes for someone to review a permit? But I guess, I mean, we could say that for an after the fact permit, it's more complicated in some ways. Because we're
definitely
also
more
trying to
complicated.
like assess how it was before and like
It is more complicated.
It's
And
absolutely more complicated.
and what's a good compromise position? If something can't be undone, it is more complicated.
Yeah.
I would be more apt if we didn't leave in the discretion and took a smaller all the time stance.
So you would want to be changing the base normal NOI fee schedule?
No. I would say there's no discretion. If it's an after the fact, it's 1.25x all the time or 1.5x all the time with zero discretion. Because anytime you allow discretion, again, that's up to us to interpret. So if you're after the fact, I would take a smaller bite, but I would not leave any discretion.
I guess we do have the ability to waive the fee entirely for certain types of projects.
Well, we do it for nonprofits.
Like nonprofits or, but yeah, I guess that's specific, so that wouldn't cover like.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that if they're asking us to waive the fee, they would have come to us before doing the work. If they ask us to waive the fee after they are asking for forgiveness,
Yeah, no. I thought the discretion was just as to those scenarios where it's like maybe a nonprofit or a, let's say, conservation related type of activity or like trail cleaning, that kind of stuff, like a municipal rail trail. Like Ipswich River Watershed, they come to us every, couple of years for their paths. I guess that's all nonprofit stuff.
But those are all things that come before us, not as after the fact NOIs.
Correct.
Those are all
no,
coming
that's what I'm
before us
saying.
as normal NOIs, and we already have the ability to waive that fee. We're not.
Yeah.
None of that's getting modified. It's this multiplier for things that we consider after the fact that we want to be able to waive.
I don't recall us ever. Dodds, did we ever waive fees though? I thought this came up before and we didn't. We declined. But if we have the power, then we don't have to change anything.
It's only to waive something entirely.
I'm only thinking one about 3 years ago, Jen, when we did have fees and then they straightened out the situation and
I want to say like the church asked us to waive fees and we were like, nah, not going to happen because it was a commercial endeavor, that kind of thing.
Yes, I remember that. I will say, and my mom was involved in this. I think with some of the work being done next to the Gould Barn, that might not have been an NOI, but I think the fees got waived for that. That was
I think we
related to the
declined that. I
Topsfield.
actually think we declined to waive the
Oh.
fee. You weren't here.
I wasn't here. I don't know.
I think we did decline it because I
I
don't
know there was
remember.
one we declined, but I forget which one that was.
Yeah,
I think it was the guy next to the gas station on 97 myself, because he finally straightened things out.
That
I
was an
could be
enforcement
wrong.
order.
Oh, are you
What?
thinking of a fine being waived instead of a fee? We're talking about like a permit application fee.
Oh, no. I'm thinking of
but
a
if we
fine.
have the authority to do that, if that's what you're saying, we do have the authority to waive it, then we don't really need to, it's not broken, we don't need to touch that. It sounds like we just need to agree on the after the fact, multiplier.
The way it was proposed, I thought the proposal was that you could waive the extra multiplier depending on
That was my
circumstances.
understanding as well.
And I don't love that.
I agree with Ben on that. I think it really creates like a total slippery slope. Sorry to use that term, but it's like who gets to,
So our Topsfield regulation, section 10-6 on fees. I don't think we can waive state-related fees. Fees under the bylaw are in addition to those required under state regulations.
Okay.
Consultant fees and security bond monies are not included in these fees. The town of Topsfield projects are exempt from fees. In general, fees are not refundable, although the commission may waive a fee or portion thereof by a vote of majority of the members present. So the regulations already give us the ability to waive fees. So if we're going to change the fee schedule, we just change the fee schedule and we not make an additional reference to waiving.
Okay, that's good to know. So we already have the ability to waive. So if that's a problem, that's
our regulation, section 10.
Okay, so if that is a problem, that we could address that too in our revision of the regulations if we don't want to have that anymore.
So my point is, as we stand today, our regulations gives us the ability to waive a fee or a portion thereof. So if we're going to change the fee schedule, we don't have to even make a reference to waiving fees. We can just decide what's our multiplier.
Well, we can't go higher currently.
So no. For the current fee schedule, how you want to change the fee schedule for after the fact?
Yes.
Our fees, the R-10 section doesn't stipulate how we set the fees, so we can.
Right, but we already have the ability to waive a portion of any fee. We don't have to waive it in its entirety. If we don't want to, we can just waive a portion of it.
The commission may waive a fee or portion thereof by the vote of a majority of members present.
Okay, so we already have the ability to do that. So all we need to potentially decide on tonight is a multiplier.
Right.
Great. I personally, my vote is to match
It's to match what?
The building, make it 2.
I think he's going to say 2, yeah.
2, yeah. All right, 2.
2 with the caveat that we can waive that.
Yeah, we already.
Do you need any
do.
kind of motion for that?
Well, I mean, I don't mind. I want to make sure everyone's mostly in agreement here. I mean, I'm hearing Ben not.
I'm in agreement.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 works.
Yeah,
I don't think we always have to agree, right? I don't.
No, I agree.
And that's fine. It's not gonna.
No, it won't change the vote.
Filibuster. No one's going to bed until we all agree on the multiplier.
No, and that's what I think it's
Bill,
fine.
where did you say you lived?
Which you lived.
Yeah, I guess I'll also note like some of these could be like an RD&I that's $75 that is being doubled. So there's a wide range.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me vote, please.
And after the fact, RD&I.
Yeah.
So we don't need to vote on anything.
There is some proportionality. Like the bigger the project, the bigger the fees, the more the person should have known that they needed approvals.
Thank you. Yes. Agreed.
And
So-
then this would only be the bylaw fee.
And
to be clear, that
also,
we are
frankly,
increasing.
the person we just had on before us, when he bought that property, knew all those things. Because I was with Heidi.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but that's not even an after the fact thing. I guess it is.
Yeah, just saying.
Yeah.
uh,
All right, we need to vote on it?
or does Jackie need to update the language and then we vote on the updated language?
Yeah, I think
Updated schedule.
I can draft the language based on the comments I've heard and in such a way that I expect most people would approve of the language based on what we discussed today and the at least with regard to the fee multiplier. I think there's other parts of the regs that might be a surprise to those who haven't been following along, but we'll discuss that when it's time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have anything else to discuss?
Minutes. We need to do minutes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I read the minutes, but I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know that that matters.
Did you watch the video?
No.
Okay.
What? How rude.
Minutes looked fine to me for May 20th.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for May 20th, 2026.
I'll second that motion.
We have to vote.
And how do we vote?
Jen DeCarlo, aye.
Andrew Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnihan, aye.
Ben Kayla, aye.
Good. Anything else?
Nothing too notable on my end. We finished our speaker series at the Library for Sustainability Committee, and I thought it went well. And I went to the MSMCP annual meeting with all the other conservation professionals who gave me good advice on my questions about different situations. So
good.
That's all.
On June 19th, there's Hood Pond Day at the Topsfield Town Beach. It's going to be the Town Beach Association throwing a little family event there.
Yes. Well, that would be good to go to. I did have one thing. I would like to have somebody else step into the role of vice chair. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm definitely, to be transparent, I'm definitely thinking of my next move, my next segue, because it's been a long time, and we have a wonderful, competent board. But every time I have thought about trying to make a move, somebody else moves before me, and I feel bad doing this because Dodds, you're still here, and I'm not saying
I've thought of the same thing, Jen, but I don't think two of us should do it maybe at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I will be quite honest. I'm ready to move from the commission, but I am ready to do that. But before I do that, I'm ready to relinquish the vice chair. I don't even know how I became the vice chair. Like, I don't remember a vote. So you guys are all fabulous, competent members of the commission, and there are plenty of people that can handle this. So I don't know how we want to do that, if somebody wants to step up or give it more consideration for the next meeting. And I won't speak for Dodds and what her plans are, but I think that's my goal, is to no longer be vice chair and then to eventually segue off the commission with some notice. It was my dream to have the regs updated before I ultimately resign. But now I'm feeling good that they're actually getting attention to them. I mean, I did a lot of work initially, so it would be great to have that be done, but whatever. So I'm glad I said these words, because otherwise I will never, ever, let this happen. So that's my plan. I don't want to be vice chair anymore. I think somebody else can either volunteer or whatever you guys want to do it, my tenured status or.
Yeah,
So.
I'm over 10 years and I'm kind of feeling the same way. I was thinking maybe I'd get through the summer,
Yeah.
So I won't do it right now, Jen, because if someone's going to take your spot, I'll wait a little while.
Well, yeah, I didn't. I'm sorry. I probably should have contacted you first. I'm not throwing my resignation in at the moment. It's just that I think the next natural thing would be somebody step into the vice chair role, and then we get through the busy season, and I think ideally by the by the end of the year, I would be off the commission and there'd be an open seat. So I'm making that known, in other words. And I did, when I got reappointed, I made that very clear to the folks that talked to me that that was my intention. At the time, there was a lot of movement on the commission. There was a lot going on. And so I didn't feel that I had the freedom to say that, and not to like ruin anybody else's plans, but now I do feel like, okay, things are moving in the right direction. Anyway, that's it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're sticking around for a little bit anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And,
Yeah, I'm sure we would all miss you and definitely appreciate both of you for all of your dedication for so many years. I will note there is somebody who contacted me a few months ago who was planning to move to Topsfield and hadn't even moved yet, but was very interested in joining the Conservation Commission and had relevant background. So it's good to know that if someone eventually leaves the commission, we might have someone interested in joining. But that's a good reminder to me to check into everyone's terms and like at what time the terms expire, and then I don't know if we are allowed to like reappoint chairs and vice chairs ourselves, or if the appointing authority has to.
I don't know. When I
check on it.
became chair, I was vice chair, and I became chair when Cheryl left, and that was a long time ago. And it just sort of naturally happened. I guess the rest of the board agreed with it.
Yeah, I don't even remember voting. Like, I don't remember voting.
No,
for
I don't
me.
think there was any voting. I think it just happened.
I think so too. So, yeah, so I'm all about like, you guys are good. Somebody can step into this role and and then like what happens is everybody just kind of seems to like rise up to like do other tasks, motions, whatever. I mean, I'm not kidding. I was on this commission for probably like, I want to say like 7 years before I ever really made a motion,
You
which
had
is
me
crazy.
making motions like week 2.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like we had one individual that really, that's what he did. He did the motions. And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like I just argued with people. That was all I
And
did.
we had somebody who seconded everything.
Yeah. So anyway, so like whoever, I don't know how this works. I don't recall being voted. I really feel like it was very informal, like Dodd said. And so I think if somebody is interested, don't be shy, and please just step up, and then we could do it at the next meeting. We could vote, or that way there's no pressure. Maybe tell Jackie, and then we'll just throw it on the agenda for the next meeting, and then that person can get voted in to be the vice chair or whatever the
If we
process.
vote, or they can say, I want to do it, and that could be the end of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll throw my hat into the ring for the vice chair position. Obviously, if Ben or Maureen want to, then I'm more than happy to rescind that. The only thing
I'm happy to be on the drafting commission, the drafting committee. And also, there's no assurance that I can be home by 7 on Wednesdays now that I'm not remote on Wednesdays.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm stepping back. If you want to step up, go right ahead.
The only thing that I'm not sure about is my ability to be like a signing authority, because I might not be in Topsfield during.
And I'm okay with continuing to do that.
The town hall is open, and so that doesn't necessarily help. Okay.
Sorry, I'm okay with continuing to do that until I resign. I mean, I don't think that's tied to the vice chair necessarily. And
right,
I work from home most of the time, so for me to just swing by and chew off Sue's ear is like totally fine with me for the time being. So.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you need to come in sometime soon and sign our signatory form.
Okay.
The alternate, because both Dodds and you have to sign the signatory form, but no rush. But
I could do that tomorrow.
Okay.
And I guess I'll just ask. I mean, obviously no pressure, Dodds, but do you have any idea of your timeline? No is a
If I-
completely reasonable
if-
answer.
Honest to God, if I had my druthers, I'd do it tonight. I'm tired. I've done it for so many years. I would love to bow out, but I don't know if I can or should or whatever during a transition period. I don't know, Andrew, and I don't want to let the team down.
And I appreciate that. I'll just say I'm happy to step up to whatever role I would be most useful in, whether that be chair or vice chair.
Well,
If
vice chair can make plenty of, see, I can't make any motions
Yep.
as chair. So it's up to you. You like to make motions. Ben and Maureen are very well. Maureen, I've heard her make more motions. Obviously, she's been on longer. She's very good at it too. So
No,
Jackie,
and I hear you there.
this is a
I just wanted to
conundrum.
say I'm willing to step into whatever role that needs me.
I
And
also
Jenna,
And whatever needs to be filled so that can happen.
Oh,
If
you're
I gotta
good.
start making motions, I'll start
Good.
making motions.
Well,
I think that they can alternate. I mean, that's one of the things that like I sometimes I do step back from doing motions because I want other people to get that experience because it's the pain. It really is. But once you get it under your belt,
Yeah.
you're good.
And I'd say 70% of them are as Jackie has mostly planned out.
Right.
It's just the ones that go really off the rails that sometimes I'm like, I have to
Yeah.
start writing here.
well, there are lots of exceptions to things. Well, do you think if I sort of made it, I don't know, through September, is that good enough for everyone?
Dodds, you should do whatever you want to do. If tonight is your last night, it should be your last night. You've done so much
Really? Are you
for
sure?
the town. That's my personal opinion.
I
That,
agree.
that
I would love that.
your life and your happiness, that is
I
the
would
priority here.
absolutely love it. For instance, I mean, I can tell you now, I got a chipped tooth last night around 6 o'clock, and I can't get anyone to fix it until Monday at 8 o'clock. So that's why I wasn't on the video tonight. I can tell you, well, it's still being recorded, I think, unfortunately, but
It
that's
is.
what happened.
Maybe we should make a motion to close the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we close the meeting of the June 10th Topsfield Conservation Commission at 10:02 p.m.
I second that motion.
And how do we vote? Dodd Shamrock, aye.
And Mulholland, aye.
Maureen Bresnahan, aye.
Ben Kale, aye.